Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly Grim and Perilous Master today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign. This is our ongoing Rogue Trader campaign, but we are currently playing a war story that is featuring a different set of characters in the same world as our Rogue Trader characters, but instead of the Rogue Trader RPG, we are using Cubicle 7's outstanding Imperium Maledictum RPG. It is not a successor, but a descendant from that quintet of Fantasy Flight Games RPGs, and owes a lot to the Cubicle 7 published Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. And with me tonight to carry on our Imperium Maledictum story, Lonely is the Hunter, are the stars of this campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight? First up, we've got James.
All right, I'm James. I'm playing Octavia Aquare, a junior factotum of the Aquare family. Is that right? Yep.
That is correct. And joining her is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Noros, and he is a member of the Astra Militarum.
Yes, you're an armsman in service to the House Aquare.
Yeah.
So this is part 3 of our war story. What do you guys recall having happened thus far? What task was put before our agents in this adventure? Let me see if I can provide some visual aids to assist with the recollection. That much you remember, hey?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where we ended up.
Where did you start? Why don't we start with that? What task were you put to?
Wow.
Yeah, we had offed this individual.
Well, let's start again.
Oh, yeah, well...
Let's start generally speaking so you can try and get your footing again. What task were you put to?
Find out where they were on the planet, or if they were still on the planet.
This Gene Stealer cult.
Yes, and the planet is a very generous description of footfall.
Oh, well, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had conglomeration.
Correct. Following up on the liberation of the monastery of Hephaestium's Rest elsewhere in the system, which had been attacked by a pack of gene stealers. It seemed that there was some chance that there were gene stealers left in footfall somewhere, and to try and claw themselves ahead in the politics among the rogue trader dynasties that dominate in footfall, the what was his name? Ignatius Aquare had tasked you with finding any remnants that may have hid behind. There is often a contingency plan with the insidious gene stealer cults, and you were tasked with tracking down any remnants of that. And to do so, you needed to get your footing with the different factions in Footfall. What do you guys recall having met, and what do you recall having uncovered thus far?
So we went to see Lord Captain Jerry Blitz.
That's right.
And on the way there, we got followed by a strange pursuer. We actually went up and approached. This was a member of a cult that believes in, if they kill people, they can affect other people's experiences in traveling in the warp. So when I approached her, or it turned out that it had been on the looking out for us, as it were, and must have executed someone for the benefit of my relative lost in the warp. And then we were off. So next step that lost. We then went off to the
Docks.
docks Alpha Row.
Yep.
To try and track down one of the see if we could find any evidence of the gene stealers there. And in fact, we spotted a early stage gene stealer cultist who we pursued and then ended with extreme prejudice.
Yeah.
And then there was a witness there. Well, there was a big crowd of witnesses, but one of them we ended up employing and bringing into the family fold.
Yeah.
Him and his crew.
Him and his crew. So he's now working for us out of our warehouse in the docks.
Yeah.
And he told us that one of the gangs on the on Footfall was involved with this group in some way, not facilitating getting them off world, but in cahoots in some way.
Yeah.
So we thought we would we went back to see Jerry again.
Yeah.
And after some discussion, we were going to try and reach out to a contact who was involved with, or one of the leader of the crime syndicate, Vladimir Tokara.
Yeah, the head of the Kazbalika.
Yeah, I was gonna say we learned he was the head of the Kazbalika, but he was operating. What was the name of the gang they were operating here on Footfall?
The gang on Footfall that answer to him are the.
Because there's the really mean, dangerous-looking guy that he works with.
Calcus Kalinicus.
The Black Brotherhood.
Oh yeah, okay.
And there was the leader of the Black Brotherhood, Calcus Kalinicus.
Wasn't there some indication that Vladimir sort of wanted out of his?
We weren't really sure.
Yeah, one of the reasons why the Kazbalika is so powerful is because they effectively run the cold trade in the Cronus Expanse, which is the extremely lucrative trade of smuggling Xenos artifacts and such out of the Cronus Expanse and through the Maw into the Calixtus sector and then elsewhere. There was another person, looks like I've got a handout for it too. Adoselaket was suggested as someone you might see if you're feeling quite desperate. A kind of mad astropath turned diviner. But you have yet to follow up with her. You guys did meet another group as well. I didn't give you a handout for it. Let me see if I can find it. Because you did meet, when you were heading back, you made friends with yet another of the groups of, I don't want to say lowlives, but because they can be quite protective of their reputation, but it was, where is he here? Oh yeah, does that ring a bell at all?
Oh, I can't see your spawn.
Let me add it in a handout with a name.
No, that's actually the one person I don't recognize.
These were the Night Bleeders.
Oh, yes, hang on. These are the guys who... yes, so the final stage was we were... I forget now where we were going, but we got ambushed in an alley.
Going
we were
to see-
pursued.
Yeah, it was while you were
we're
making
off
your
to
way.
see Vladane.
Yeah, into the Martyr's Endurance, the ship that was converted over through Shadow. Actually, might have been in Shadow Quarters still. Actually, when you're heading through the Shadow Quarters to go and meet with Jerry that second time. That's when you were set upon, well, you were being followed by these things, and I think you guys opened fire first once you realized you were being followed.
Yeah, we realized we couldn't lose them, and so we turned to fight them.
Yeah. And you guys managed to drive off about 9 of them. So that was no small feat.
Yeah.
However, if you look at our health bars,
you did get beaten up a fair bit, but fortunately, Jerry had an old Blitz family secret that was able to restore some of your wound damage.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So, with that, I think we are picking up with... You guys had actually made your way back to the atrium and to the Aquare headquarters, because the last thing we talked about was before meeting with Vladame, of you guys trying to search out more information from your contacts. Mm-hmm. By making use of your influence. I think Noros had talked about following up with perhaps some contacts among the Astra Militarum or the military wing, and I don't remember who you were going to follow up with, Octavia, to be honest.
No. Well, I'm thinking, unless I'm out of touch, we've got repaired at some point, but didn't we end up at this point? Was that not from an earlier... Because at the moment I'm showing us 2. Oh, that's 2 damage.
This is down from where you
it's
were.
It's in reverse, yes.
Sorry. Yeah. This is you escalate up towards
instead of down. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. That's
I'm
why...
looking. Oh my God, we've got 2 hit points left.
No, it was looking a lot more serious before. I just really need to learn how to code it so that you're as you get that thing full, the whole icon starts like boom, 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 and pulsing red. Then anything else that you guys recall that is important? I don't recall anything. I think you guys have touched on anything, but if there's anything that was important from your perspective that we haven't summarized?
That's everything I remember now.
Okay. So then you guys are getting a good night's sleep, and I think you may have... I think you've healed already from the good night's sleep. What is your last... set of rolls here? No, there's 2 fortitude rolls, but those were from the drinks.
Oh, yeah, from the disgusting drinks she gave us.
Yeah, so I think we may have given you the heals from your night's sleep already. Because you guys were quite... when I rewatched part of the last session just to get myself up to speed, and those red bars were a lot more full before. So, what is the plan for the day before you meet with Vladame? We had talked last session at the end about how your influence also reflects your ability to call on contacts. And
right.
I don't remember. I know that there was some thought you had to following up with someone connected with the Astra Militarum sphere. But
right, I was going to inquire more about the Casbolica.
Okay. And Octavia, do you have any sense of who you would like to follow up with?
I would probably follow up with my cousin on it.
Okay.
Seems I would want to. Or, if there's... I'm trying to remember the name of the other from Wrath and Glory, the other contacts that we had.
The other contact
that he had.
So the other contact that he made in that thing is what led to the contact with the
Jerry.
Lord Captain Blitz.
Right. Okay.
Jerry, yeah. That's
So we've gone down that route.
Yeah. But you could try. I mean, your bonus with Rogue Trader houses would apply for the success levels for this. So if you want to try and make contact with other, try and get information on it from others. We know that let's see here. Here's where your other. I should really cut and paste this into the thing here. But right now, you guys have with Rogue Trader House Blitz, you are +1. With the Astral Knives, you are +1, and with the Twilight Swords, you are +1. With Rogue Trader House Fell, you are -2 currently.
And we haven't done anything to them.
Well, you have offended their ears with your surname, so that is sufficient in their eyes.
Yeah, jerks.
Well, they're sulky boys, aren't they?
So what would you guys like to do with your day then?
Yeah, I think I will go. I'm not really sure where I go to find Astra Militarum contacts. If there's like some place they specifically hang out, or if it's just sort of a search around thing, or if the contact thing represents I already know where they are.
So are you thinking of following up with folks serving in other houses or in other capacities who could be like mercenaries serving in the Coronis Expanse? Are you trying to follow up with folks who have fallen into criminality? There is no official military presence, at least not officially.
Yeah, probably other people who are actually, some that have fallen into, mercenary type roles that are potentially on the shadier side of the street might make the most sense.
Okay.
Is there any sort of veterans association or?
Not really. I mean, you serve. Well, there may be certainly not one
unofficial.
Sponsored by the Astra Militarum, but there would be something unofficial along those lines. So why don't you give us? Let's see here. I think this will be looks like presence, but let me just double check here. Or rapport, actually. Rapport is probably. Show me, yeah, because presence is interrogation, intimidation, and leadership as specializations. Rapport is animals, charm, deception, haggle, and inquiry. So it's probably inquiry. I don't think you've got a rapport specialization.
No, I do not.
Now, before we dive into that, Jeff, I think you said you had some unspent XP, right?
Oh, that is true.
So, if you were inclined, let me just tell you the price here. If you were so inclined, where is it? Where are you? So you may be able to. Here, character creation. Where is it right at the end? Here we go. Advancement. So, how much do you have? 100?
That's correct. Yeah, 100.
100? You have no advances in rapport right now, I take it.
No.
You don't need to do this, of course, but you could spend 50 to gain +5 to your rapport, and you could spend 50 to gain a bonus to one of those specializations if you were so inclined.
Oh.
So that could give you a +10. Now, again, you don't need to do that. If you're spending your XP on that, that means you're not spending it on talents or other things you may find important. But that is, if you feel like a 31 is not sufficient.
It's not a great chance.
Well, I mean, it's 1 in 3, so,
That's true.
It's not terrible.
I like it. I like rolling on a 1 and 3.
Well, and this will be... I think we're going to make this a routine task for you as well. Remember, there are a lot of options it'll prompt for. If one of the modifiers it prompts for is your success level, you add +1 to that because of your Astra Militarum influence.
Okay, so...
And go ahead and give us a roll whenever you're ready. I can't remember if it does prompt for that, but...
So, okay. Rapport, right? That's the one?
Rapport, please, yeah.
Okay, no advantage. Oops. Oh, I forgot how many things there are.
Yeah, there's a lot of modifiers.
Challenging.
Oh, it'll be a routine, not challenging.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Do this all right. Rapport. Routine. No advantage. Routine. Superiority. No, that's none. Right?
Does it say superiority or is it saying SL?
No.
Oh, superiority 0. No. That's in combat. You can add that.
And then modifier, nothing.
No modifier, no. So we'll just add +1 to your success level. There you go. So that is 3 success levels with this.
Oh, hey, that's decent.
So you're thinking it's just general kind of other veterans of the Imperial Guard that you're...
Yeah, I mean, asking around, I don't know, is there a way, maybe there's like certain tattoos or something I'm trying to line up, but like I said, in the shadier places, sort of asking around.
Okay. And yeah, Shadow Quarters would definitely, or even the Martyr's Endurance, if you're heading back there and just having drinks at the Adeptus Amicus, I think, because it was the Amisec. Yeah, if you're just having drinks there, perhaps you could fall in with some veterans and have a chat. So why don't you ask us, so given who you're talking to, you may be limited in the information, but why don't you ask us 3 questions? Sure.
I think just the first question is, what they know about the presence of Casbolica here at Footfall.
They are everywhere, they say, and they are the most powerful, while not rivaling a rogue trader dynasty necessarily. There is a liege who runs this place, in theory, whose name is, bear with me, Tanthus Moros. He's that guy who has had so much modification that he's like the size of a, like a Winnebago.
Right.
While the liege is the one who is supposed to be the one who rules, Footfall, everyone knows that Casbolica is the one that truly, makes decisions over what is done, and everyone knows to defer to the interests of the Casbolica.
Okay, so that's good to know, because I didn't know anything about that. Mm-hmm. So,
next question.
Have they heard of this Vladimir Kara?
He is openly the head of the Casbolica. And the thought is, if the liege was to drop dead tomorrow and someone else needed to keep things, together, as it were, not that the liege really does all that much, but if they needed someone to be pointed to as in charge, it would be Vladimir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, see, that's also really good to know.
One of the most powerful and influential sentients in the Cronus Expanse.
Okay. Then I guess the last question would be if they know what would be of value to the Casbolica.
The Kazbalika are always looking for inroads with rogue trader dynasties. The Kazbalika may influence things coming out of the Kronos Expanse and elsewhere and have a control over the flow of that stuff. They are not rogue traders. They're not a rogue trader dynasty.
Okay.
They remain middlemen.
Yeah, so they're looking perfect.
Okay.
I thank them for their time.
Yeah, and you have some go-to probably friends now that you could hang out with or could go and call on once again.
Yeah. So I bring my information back to Octavia. You know, the Kazbalika, I'm not sure how much she already knows, but he brings this information back. You know, they're kind of a hidden power for sure. And this Vladame would be right at the top of their organization. And certainly what they would be looking for is a foothold or / you know, influential, I don't know, into with our organization.
Yep. Now. Yep. Good.
Yeah.
Octavia, who are you thinking of following up with?
So I will go and follow up with my cousin. So Jeff, tell my son.
You're not going to necessarily be able to follow with him. Him specifically, he is too busy. That is why he's delegated to you to do this stuff. But you could try and follow up within your house or with other houses. Although your house is quite limited here.
Yeah. So first of all, I'll explain what I want to do. First of all, I want to find out the appetite of the family to deal with such a thing as a Kazbalika. If it's prescribed or not.
Yeah.
Before going anywhere else.
Yeah,
so I don't want to try and negotiate anything and then find that.
So why don't you give us a rapport and inquiry? Yeah, I don't think you've got a specialty in inquiry yet. No. So rapport at routine, please, and you'll have +1 to your +2 actually if you're doing within the house, because 1 from your patron if you're calling on Captain Quinelia Quare or his influence within the house.
So that would be, and I'm going to have to remember. So it's no advantage. Difficulty is
routine.
Routine. Superiority is none. Modifier is none.
None. Yeah. You also have +2 to your success level. Look at that. Woo-hoo. Wowzers. Okay. So you have 8 questions.
Right.
That's awesome.
So,
I'll use a dice to count them down.
I would check with them. I would be asking. So, we have this. We're looking to deal with the Kazbalika to maybe get the insight as to where the cultists are. Are there any how limited am I in dealing with such an organization? What can I commit to?
You can commit to so narratively speaking, they would be talking about, about degrees of friendship or influence or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Effectively, what it would be mechanically is you would be trading off influence. So there would be one of the things that can come from influence. You can call in favors. It would effectively give them control, a degree of control over you through them at this point.
Right.
So the degree of, and examples of calling on influence are things like, at 1, it is things like sharing of pertinent knowledge, expedite some standard procedures, whereas like up to 4 is access to secrets and influential individuals. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
depending on what you want out of them. Right now, so as far as how much personal authority you have, it is as much as you wish to give up.
Okay.
Next question.
So, have we dealt with the Kazbalika before?
They have not. That is likely due to just the limited amount of time. I don't want to speak for the Lord Captain Quinilia Quare, but it does seem like his impetus to come to the Cronus Expanse was not planned significantly ahead of time. And as such, there has been a degree of the house or dynasty following up with that. Ignatius is a relatively quickly elevated fellow who was a great low-level street operator before, who now is in charge of the delegation out here. And yourself have also been you've been brought out here relatively new. So I mentioned that only to say there really hasn't been enough time for you all to be back out here again, to have that connection. Whether that is by choice or by circumstances, though, that is a different question. 6 more.
So now I've got 6 more. So I've got so many, I'm going to be frivolous and ask, what was the name again of the loyal retainer who was here on Footfall when our Lord Aquari first arrived?
There was none. The person you're thinking of?
The tattered outfit? Yeah.
That was on the other side. That was at the, what do you call it, Port Wander. At the other side,
shit.
in the collects a sector at the entrance to the Maw. But I can give you his name, because his name was... Where is it? Orbest Dre.
Orbest.
Let me bring... I don't think I can actually bring a handout in from... the Rogue Trader game. Just give me a sec here.
I suppose he's irrelevant. He's too far away these days.
Well, I mean, he is on
the wrong side of the warp forms.
But there, one of the things that you will likely find is as you as you become more known here. There he is. There will be more things you're likely bringing in from there.
Okay.
So you would have had meetings with Orbest Dre before you came through, as would have. Let me go put that down there. And where are you, Orbest? Here he is.
Long time no see.
Yeah. Both of the Rogue Trader characters you guys have played, Ignatius and Octavia, would have had dealings with Orbest as you were making your way into the Cronus Expanse. Well, there wasn't because I think you guys did spend some influence in increasing the holdings for House Aquare in Port Wander. And while the Maw is not exactly a walk in the park, it is the only way coming in and out of here. So if you guys need to go back to Port Wander at any point, you can. One of the things that Rogue Traders can regularly draw on is the ability to travel. For these characters, we would not play out the trip. It would just be a matter of, we could if we want to, because we've got the Rogue Trader stuff, but you guys aren't you're not the crew driving the ship necessarily, so we could just, the way, there aren't rules yet in Imperium Maledictum for doing that kind of travel, so it's really just treated like any other kind of travel stuff, where we roll and see if there's something interesting that happens along the way. If nothing interesting happens, we assume you arrive at your destination.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I mean, Jeff, your character has to start eating cactuses, of course, but...
of course.
But what... you have 5 more questions.
Ooh. I'm probably asking the people with least knowledge, as you say.
If they do not know, they
do we
may be
know
able to,
anything of the Black Brotherhood?
they know that they are one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful gang operative on Void Dock Alpha Rho, as well as the other docks. They are, one of the many kind of like chem gangs that are active in Footfall. Easily the most organized and the most terrifying. 4 more questions.
Do we know if Lord Captain Jerry Blitz has any enemies?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Anyone that is conspicuous that would be of concern to her?
Any of the... I'm trying to decide if this is 2 answers. I think this is all part of the same question. So the main things are other rival houses. Other rogue trader dynasties who don't appreciate that she literally won hers in a card game. Her warrant of... what is it? The warrant of trade is something she won in a card game. And as such,
right.
There are others who would see that as a frivolous acquisition of power, but that is beneath the respect due to certain rogue trader dynasties. And I can tell you, I'm going to cash in another of your questions. So you're down to 2 to give you 2 names, because there are 2 different ones in particular who are hostile towards her. Those are Lord Admiral Bastille VII. He is a scion of an ancient house, and he was in service in the Imperial Navy until a tragedy in his home. His ship is known as the Colossus, and Lord Admiral Bastille VII is a strong believer in tradition. He apparently was cashiered out of it. Is that what it's called? Cashiered out of the Navy in order to assume his role as the Lord Captain of his house in the Cronus Expanse. So his house and Lord Captain Abdel Garrett Arcadius. His ship is... likewise, the House Arcadius is an ancient house, and he prides himself as a man of honor and a capable duelist by all accounts.
Interesting.
Both of them particularly resent the assumption of Captain Blitz, Lord Captain Blitz, by virtue of a card game. Not for nothing, I think both of them lost family members in that the Battle of Aguzia, where your family's ancestor made that surprise reappearance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's see here.
So, our family pulled their family out of the fire?
Correct. Well...
Sort of.
A ship, yeah. See, the notorious Lord Captain... Where is he? Lord Inquisitor, Lord Captain Inquisitor, or Lord Inquisitor Captain. Whose name?
Inquisitor trumps Captain, I think.
Yeah, depending.
Inquisitor trumps everything.
It was, yes. So hold on. So the Guzia. Yes. Okay. It was Cobras Aquare, Inquisitor, Lord, and a Rogue Trader.
Given these guys being establishment, maybe we can hypothesize they're not averse to the Aquare name.
That is an interesting way of... you would know, this isn't going to cost you a question because you've heard about the Aquare, but the Aquare name seems to have a great deal of respect in here. So there is, while your Lord Captain is currently absent, the name Aquare is spoken of in respectful tones. The Aquare would definitely, notwithstanding the reprobates who may be representatives of the family at present, I include all of the Aquare in that. They would definitely fit more in with the likes of the Arcadius, or House of Arcadius, and House Bastille.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find what his... I think it's here. Let me double check. I wrote down his name, but I'm not sure what Lord Captain or Lord Admiral Bastille's house name is. Let me just double check that. Here we go. No, it is House Bastille. Forgive me.
Makes life easier.
Yeah, really.
Jeff, is there anything you can think of that we'd need to ask?
I mean, nothing in particular jumps to mind.
I've got... Because otherwise I'm thinking of... Oh, yeah, go ahead, please.
Oh, I was going to say, we've had so many questions, I'm not really sure.
I was thinking of asking how to get in contact with, unless it's obvious, Pladame. To get in there and then
Jerry's going to provide the introduction.
That. Yep. The other question was going to be to ask, how would any association with the Kazbalika affect our reputation with rogue traders? Would they care? Or just say, well, you know, hanging out with the crime lords, all par for the course? Or... So I think that would be my question of the politics there. Is that going to be...
So one thing to consider is remember what the cold trade is, because that was something that we had discussed last time. One of the reasons why it was to everybody's interest to find this Xenos cult and root them out before, you know, no one wants to call mom and have...
Right.
Well, particularly not when mom's a psychopath.
This is very much the case, yeah. The Ordos Xenos is not going to do... When everybody is involved in the illegal smuggling of Xenos artifacts, probably calling in the Inquisition and potentially the Death Watch is not to anybody's benefit in here.
No.
So generally, associating with this isn't going to be a huge problem. No, I think you know, I know the answers to a whole bunch of other questions I'd have. So, should we just let the others go?
Yeah, I mean, we're not. I don't know.
Well, here's one other thing.
We'll trade it for one question later.
You cannot necessarily bank them, no. But what you could do is you could ask about other sources of information. While they may not be able to provide you information, if there's other things you want to follow up with. What I would let you do is maybe cash in 2 for 1, 2 success levels for 1 temporary influence with another faction. So if, for instance, one of the hold on, is it on the GM screen? Let's see. The GM screen is quite good. Let me see. This, I might be asking too much for all the different kinds of influence, though. But I can't see where the rules are. Page 192. Okay. Let's see here. Have I mentioned how much I like the GM screen?
Not today yet.
Not today? Okay, good. So I've met my quota. Then I'll mention that, boy, I wish I had a similar GM screen for the Elder Scrolls role-playing game. I've made my obligatory mention of that game now. It's not listed here for the... I'm assuming that's probably because there is a wider variety than just like the limited list here. Let me take a look, because I know one of the things you've got through your rogue traders, because he's got contacts with kind of on the seedier side. You get a +1 with them, but I don't remember what the name... Infractionist, that's what it is. So the criminals are called infractionists. Other factions that you could get influence with are things like the Adeptus Administratum, the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, Adeptus Mechanicus, Adeptus Ministorum, Astra Militarum, Imperial Fleet, Infractionists, the Inquisition, or Rogue Trader dynasties. There are also other factions you guys do have already contact with the Twilight Swords.
Right.
So, is there any, I guess, the other thing is, rather than just trading directly for influence for future attempts at either influencing or finding information from or asking a favor of, you could as well use those two to set up potential contacts, to open up avenues to contact others. Once you have this information, once you speak to the, what do you call it? The Casbolica head, Vladeum, what do you have to do next? Like we've talked in our Rogue Trader game about the scope of influence that you guys have. It's not quite the same in this. You're not leading a ship of, tens of thousands of people, but there are favors like, at 1 level you could expedite some standard procedure, at 2 lending certain equipment or personnel, level 3 procure most equipment, overlook some transgressions. So even if you choose to, say, cash in for temporary influence with the house, perhaps you could call on some fire support if you need to burn out these Xenos scum later.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that feels like thematically, I think either we're trying to build relationships with other houses, that's underneath it all, that we're our aim, right?
Okay.
We're trying to build house prestige and things around the house, so let's build up influence within the house.
Okay.
As a starting point. So
then we'll cache that. You will be able to call on a detachment of armsmen. So folks that will follow Noros' command for when you need them for that, a scene or two.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you guys meet up later that evening, Octavia spent the day, politicking back and forth across all the different, parts of the. Well, I imagine it's not just within the Aquare household. You're going all over the place, talking to people, as they've been active in Noros. You're back from your day-long chatting with your allies. What do you guys wish to discuss before your meeting with Vladeum?
Well, what the strategy is, what we're willing to offer, You know, like, are we just looking at a partnership here to combat this issue? Were we under the impression that Vladame was protecting them at this point, Kevin? Is that correct?
It's unclear. So one of the things you guys talked through last time was whether why the Black Brotherhood might have sent the Nightbleeders after you.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because the Black Brotherhood, as is likely evident by our portrait of their chieftain, Calcus Callinicus, they are not shy of taking matters into their own hands. Part of their fearsome reputation comes from their willingness to take extreme steps themselves. You may remember the crew members that you guys have retained now, those laborers, how they reacted to the influence of the Black Brotherhood. The Nightbleeders are in service, or like not in service necessarily, but like they are an associate gang to the Black Brotherhood. And the question was, why would they send them after you?
Right.
I guess the assumption is that even they were... Well, dealing with gene stealers is pretty toxic. So nobody's going to... everyone's going to try and cover their trails to an extent. But then I think the question, right, Jeff, is why is the Black Brotherhood involved with the gene stealers in any way? But we know that they're not entirely cooperating because they're not helping the guys get off, apparently. But equally, they're not rooting them out. Which, given how toxic these guys are, is a bit odd.
Right.
I think, isn't our leverage going to be a question going to be to Vladame, you know, surely this is not in the interest of anybody for this gene stealer crap to continue. So how can we root it out? I mean, we don't necessarily want to go face to face with the Black Brotherhood. We want the gene stealers gone. So I think the mystery is why does Vladame know why the Black Brotherhood would be in cahoots in any way, shape, or form with these guys?
Right.
I think. Could be completely going down the wrong route. And then take it from there. Because it's sort of in his interest as well as ours to get rid of bloody gene stealers.
Right. We can definitely assume there's a good chance that he doesn't want them here.
I mean, he may want something to help us help him, but
right,
because he ain't a charity, but still.
Why don't you each give us a lore check at let's say this is going to be, it would be forbidden lore, which I don't think either of you guys have. But let's set it at actually challenging, I think.
Okay, so just roll lore. Challenging. Oh, so close.
Well, that's an interesting point because one reminder, you can spend luck in Imperium Maledictum to affect your success levels. And remember, it's a success level in Imperium Maledictum that determines success or failure, not whether you rolled higher or not. So if you want to spend one luck, that'll buy you a success.
Right, that like going to 0 is enough.
0 is the success level, yeah.
And that's our green bar, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. Some information here would be...
Okay. I can't remember if it's called luck, so forgive me, I think it might be fate.
Good enough.
Whatever, the narrative meta currency.
Yeah,
so,
if you spend the narrative meta currency, get the thing.
So here's something you think of, Noros, because you've been, I imagine that this figuring out what trade is going to be and what commerce is like. I'm not sure. You've got, I think, some points in leadership, right? In under presence. Oh no, you don't. For some reason, I thought you did. You may have been just at best a sergeant, maybe, in, or whatever the equivalent is in the, in the Imperial Guard. So you're not necessarily thinking on the higher level, strategic level, as it were. And now that you're working for a rogue trader family in a more active, and kind of independent role, maybe you've been thinking about, okay, how does this profit the house? Like, how do we actually make money out of that? And that's one of the things that would likely turn you to is this cold trade that Vladaim Tokara and his organization, the Kazbalika, are apparently in charge of. The cold trade deals with the collection of Xenos artifacts, and when I say artifacts, I don't mean like valuable items. I mean ancient things from dead species. Literal, the way we would use artifacts in the vernacular in our time. They trade in that stuff. That's the whole root of the cold trade. If it's a matter of scouring, systems that have not been seen by men ever, if or at the least 9,000 years ago or longer,
right.
Knowing what you know about the gene stealers and their genetic parents, the Tyranids, can you think of how they might relate to the Xenos trade, the cold trade? So as a reminder, do you remember what the gene stealers serve as?
No, I don't.
Let me so refresh my memory.
To the, yep.
Oh, go ahead, James. No, like if yeah.
James might know.
Yeah, so they're the beacon. Once they reach a certain stage, they act as a beacon to the Tyranids.
Exactly. So the Tyranids are that massive swarm of biomaterial that come in and just eat fucking planets. They are known as the shadow in the warp there. So they have such a massive footprint. And all the things that you would think of as individual Tyranids, which are variations on, to be honest, I mean, the xenomorphs from Alien, but kind of, to be honest, more terrifying. They spew these things down and will just rain all sorts of these awful bio things onto the planet. But the way that the swarms come is in response to gene stealer cults. Gene stealer cults serve as the psychic beacon to draw in this thing, the swarm, which will then strip a planet and anything in between of all of its valuable biological or chemical or other material, leave it a dead husk and head off to the next. If that's the life cycle of the Tyranids and the gene stealers, is there any impact that would have on the cold trade?
Well, that would kill it dead, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Xenos species where they have artifacts, ancient things that would be worth stealing and selling. Even setting aside the dead species, even orcs, whatever bizarre technology they leave behind, orcs might be of value, The Eldar, most definitely. Some of the stranger, things you've heard of, the Necrontyr or the Necrons. Who doesn't leave behind any kind of technology that could be scavenged and whatnot is the fucking Tyranids, because they eat everything.
Right.
So if that's the case, and Vladaim's power comes solely from the cold trade, how do you think he would feel about gene stealers being in footfall?
Well, he had no interest in that, I'm guessing. It's going to destroy his business.
And that's exactly
the death aspect for him as well.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I think, what Noros, you kind of would conclude is like, well, hold on, like, am I just missing it? But like, where the hell would be the profit in this guy supporting a Gene Stealer cult here. If the inevitable conclusion of a Gene Stealer cult is, and the only thing they care about is reaching a suitable enough level of infection among the people that are here, because that's what they do. They also infect, literally, the genetics of other things and fuzz the mind as they get more powerful. The other thing that tends to happen, that you probably would have heard of just through because the Tyranids have been a threat for hundreds of years in the Imperium now. One of the other terrifying things is, you know what happens on a planet just before a Tyranid swarm arrives? Is all of those hidden Gene Stealer cults suddenly rise up in rebellion all across the planet. Destabilizing the security, destabilizing the local government, causing as much confusion as it can be, so when their genetic parents arrive, it's to a weakened and broken society.
Right.
Which is a long way of saying, how could that possibly benefit the Casbolica if their trade comes from the regular smuggling out of these artifacts?
Absolutely.
So how would Noros conclude all that? How would he say that he's put this stuff together in this way?
Just that, there is no aspect of the Gene Stealers that benefit the Casbolica. Certainly none that I can foresee. In fact, it would ruin their cold trade here. And just, I can't foresee that Vladaim is supporting this. He must be actively opposing it.
Or he may just not be particularly aware, or be underestimating it. You may not be aware, right? Because nobody really is. We do, because of our cousin.
Right. It might be possible.
So knowing that, does that affect your preparations, or what you might ask of Vladaim and be willing to give up?
Well, I think we've got information for him, is what it potentially is.
It could be a trade-off.
So, in fact, we're doing him a favor.
Maybe.
Oh, we're doing each other a mutual favor, but we're giving him some useful advice, and he can help us help him.
Anything else you wish to discuss or prep before you have your meeting with Vladaim, the master of the Casbolica?
I guess a question that our house probably wouldn't know, but Jerry might, is that who's Vladaim's rivals? But Jerry's probably will know better that. Yeah,
and you've banked your questions with that. I mean, Noros could tell you what his experience with the Casbolica, or not experience with, but like what he learned of the Casbolica.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of share it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Well,
let's trundle on.
Okay. Then, if you wish to meet with Vladaim, he actually is... I can move us over to the atrium again. Just to remind you...
To the combat display.
The majesty of the place where you'll be meeting with him. Let me grab your tokens. Not necessarily for combat, but in the event that you need to spend some points. Come on. The fuck? Come on. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. This would not let me come back to the page where I left your tokens. So, the meeting with Vladeum is in one of the halls that seems... It seems like it is intentionally cavernous and intentionally has a number of black shadows where Lord knows what might be concealed, but there is a clear light leading up to where he sits at a long table, the head of a long table. And as you are admitted into his room, there's a bunch of books and other... there are servitors kind of swirling around him. Servitors in this, Jeff, are like skull or zombie robots, effectively. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
You may remember the battle servitors you faced.
Yes.
In the Iron Things. It's like that. There are also skull servitors, which are effectively just little computer hovering skull drones that have that serve largely a clerical or a scanning purpose. He has about 3 of them that are hovering around, and he is it seems like he was speaking when you came in. Obviously, Octavia, you know something about presentation for these types of meetings, and he certainly has been trying to set up an impressive one going in. He has they are not marked with anything to indicate that they are armsmen, but he definitely has hired mercenaries who do not have any specific house insignia on them, keeping guard, and they have a common uniform that does not seem to have any insignia indicating rank or unit. You are let in here, and when you do, he stands up from where he is working at the cogitator and with the various kind of things, almost like flies that are dispersed with waving over a piece of food in the outdoors. The servitors kind of buzz away and then hover back down over wherever they were working as he stands up. He looks down and says, "Lady Octavia Aquore, and your companion."
I nod.
Welcome. He is wearing the, Spider Jerusalem style rounded shades that he has in his illustration, and the downcast, frown on his face, the same stoic, almost unexpressive look. He stands up and he walks towards you, his hands crossed in front of him, as you see in the illustration. "Please." And he gestures to the far end of the table, near the head. "Seat. I hear that we have much to discuss."
Indeed.
Indeed, Master Tokara.
He gestures, and out of the darkness, there's a servitor that comes hovering in with a serving tray or something listed underneath. It's like where its jaw would have been. Flies over, it lands, and he distributes wine from there. "I feel that to set the tone for these discussions, aperitifs are appropriate."
Very much. Very civilized. Thank
Much
you,
appreciated.
Master Tokara.
Of course.
So just mechanically, you can tell I'll be aiming for my air of authority through rapport.
Okay.
So,
Well, let's start with that first. So, and is it contested or is it just a flat roll?
it appears just to be a flat roll.
Can you display? I can't remember. Can you display your talents in chat? If not, I got the rulebook right here, so I can.
Let me just do it in here. There's no way of clicking right in that.
Oh,
here,
okay,
I can copy paste it.
Okay.
Copy. Here we
Yeah,
go.
there's no click button.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. First time you meet a group, you can make a challenging... Yeah, there we go. Challenging. All right, so why don't you give us a rapport test then?
I like it.
Come on, fingers crossed.
Come on, big money. Oh my goodness. Oh. Now, you can, I believe, spend fate to re-roll, yes?
Yeah, I'm going to do that for sure.
I think that might be a good idea.
Oh,
Here we go.
critical fail.
Re-roll a failed test. Oh, it is a critical fail. Criticals, I think, are only in combat, though, actually,
Ah,
in this game.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
well, we like that.
But it's better than...
but you could spend, remember, you could spend one more luck to buy that
And
one extra
one more
success level
luck.
you'll be.
Let's use one more luck.
So then with that,
it's
you will get a +1 influence with the Kazbalika. So I guess we should probably have something to track. Do we have notes on here? We don't. Let's do this. Let's see.
Well, that was expensive.
That was an expensive check, yeah. Here we go. Aquila. Come on. Nope, that's the Aquila lander. What did I call it? I'm trying to remember what I call that Nemolith. You remember you had that memory thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember what I called the... Let's see here, eagle, maybe? Black eagle, no. Dag. Nuts. Yeah, that's not... I can't find the... I was going to use that illustration of the Aquila that we use as the Nebelith for your handout to track influence, but what we could do instead is... I could just... Here, let me edit this.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I think we're all yawning.
Yeah, it's Friday. And long week.
Yep. Well, it's a short week. Oh, it's a bank holiday. Oh, is it bank holiday for you, James? Or is that only UK?
Only UK.
Okay.
We had a bank holiday. Well, we had a holiday on last Monday.
Oh, see, we did too.
Oh, yeah. Same as us. Yeah, it was a short week, but that just makes it busier, Kevin.
It was just, this week was...
That's the way it works, right? You just got to get more work done in less days.
Okay, here you go, guys. I've got a handout here. There you are. With your influence. So you guys can edit that. So your influence right now, I'll put it in chat, is... Let's see. You have with House Blitz, Rogue Trader, House Blitz, there we go, +1. The Astral Knives, +1. And the Twilight Swords, +1. And you now have temporarily +1 the Kazbalika. Does Kazbalika have 2 S's or 1, guys? Do you remember?
It is 1.
Okay, so
1 S, 2
Kazbalika,
L's.
2 L's. There we go. All right, so you can go ahead and fill that in on your influence chart, whoever wants to track that.
Trying to do that.
I think you can you should be able to cut and paste from the chat, I think.
Oh, that's too easy.
That's a spirit. All right. So, the starting thing is you will have a +1 influence with the Casbalica. And then I think what we will do... Well, I think we can just roleplay this out for now. Once you start trying to do anything, because I can actually measure what you're able to give him as an example of the influence. So what he might be willing to give right now, he's at +1. By trading in further information or further things, I'll let you sort of temporarily bump your influence up. So,
oh yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah. If you do need to make any rolls, though, where this would come into play, we can apply that influence. That is on top of whatever your individual influence is, by the way. So you also have your own influence in Rogue Trader houses and with the Astra Militarum. So,
right.
Vladeum gives you the drinks, and there are now 4 of those servitors that are swirling around. He gestures for you to sit down. How could I be of assistance to such a distinguished household?
Oh, please call me Octavia.
Octavia. Then I insist you call me Vladeum.
Delightful. It's good to start this way in what I hope will be a long and profitable relationship between ourselves and our broader interests. And with that, I feel I have troubling news to tell you, but one I feel you should be aware of. I'm sure you have heard the terrible myths almost of the gene stealers, these perverted Xenos cults. And, while Footfall is a place free of Imperial oversight, it's obviously an area of concern.
We are all, in our
commercially.
ways, of course, Lady Octavia, devout servants of the Emperor of Mankind.
Indeed we are. But even on a more narrow way of looking at things, these Xenos creatures are poison to us.
I agree. We are far from the light of the God of man.
But
Are you
so I have to
suggesting...
tell you, they are present here on Footfall, no less.
Yes.
Indeed. How do you know such things, Lady Octavia?
We, in fact, have the corpse of one that we encountered within the docks Alpha Row.
Why don't you guys each give us a challenging intuition roll, yeah. And I will roll... Where is it here?
Ooh.
Is it charm?
Nice wine, says Jeff.
Oh, it's what I'm
Very
pulling.
good. Yes.
Let's see. How'd you do there? -4.
Yeah.
Look, you expended all your mental effort in putting together the whole, like, why would he profit from this, Gene Seer? So that tank is empty for now.
Oh yeah. I'm ready to shoot some more Xenos now at this point.
Yeah. So Octavia, you can see he is exceptionally skilled at concealing any kind of reaction to interests. You think that he may give Jerry a run for her money at cards if he was so inclined to lower himself to that. But your work you put in beforehand has definitely paid off. Because you see, when you tell him where his scar is, there's an almost involuntary twitch of tension. That news that it's here and that they were killed on the docks. You'd be surprised if it was news to him that there was a Xenos creature killed at the docks. But it seems troubling that you're bringing it to his house. How do you know such things, Lady Octavia? Were you the ones? Did you slay this thing yourself? Or one of your...
We did indeed. We did indeed. And my house has encountered, as you know, our house has its fingers everywhere, but we have encountered these creatures before. And indeed it is...
You see one of his eyebrows, which are non-existent, he's kind of hairless, but his, what would be where his eyebrows arcs up. And he says, Hephaestion's rest.
Hypothetically. But my family wants to look after the best interests of Footfall and the fine business we do here.
Your family has
a greater good,
storied lineage dealing with such Xenos threats.
Yes, call it a family business.
Indeed.
But as with all business, it needs to be exercised and strengthened over time. One cannot rest on one's laurels. So, knowing that this filth is out there, we are looking to, again, for the greater good, have this removed. And it's most troubling. It's most troubling what we've discovered.
What is that, Lady Octavia? Beyond what you have graced me with thus far.
It is... The shocking thing is, despite the threat that this poses to everyone, there appear to be people who are assisting, or at least providing protection for these creatures.
I cannot claim knowledge of such foul things, but what I have heard is that they have an unnatural way of bringing in their supporters, corrupting in a way not unlike that of the ruinous powers.
Absolutely.
If such a corruption spreads here, I would certainly support any efforts by your noble house to burn such things out.
And the fear is that this corruption, this influence, this alien taint is perhaps starting to infect your interests.
My interests, lady.
Well, hypothetically, I wouldn't want to presume on knowing all of your...
Two of the servitors kind of spin up in a bit. One of them kind of zooms off into the dark. He remains focused on you.
Or perhaps, I don't know, maybe not related to you, but people you're aware of. The Black Brotherhood, for example.
Go on, lady.
Evidence I have is that they are in some way in cooperation with these foul cultists. I'm not sure they help, but not hinder either. Providing some element of protection, perhaps, which I find most odd. It would seem to be in the interest of no one to do such a thing.
My lady, your house, the history which buoys its reputation in footfall is a great power. But footfall can be a very dangerous place.
Ah, indeed, indeed.
And there are few here more dangerous than the Black Brotherhood. To accuse them of such foulness, I truly fear to think of what they may do should such accusations reach their ears.
The concern is that such an organization should be unknowingly infiltrated. I would not think that the Black Brotherhood themselves would willingly consort with such filth. My concern is that some elements have inserted themselves unwelcome within the organization, and that the organization, in all its innocence of such foul matters, may be unaware and being manipulated even.
Psychic intrusions of the mind can be insidious.
I would not suggest that the Black Brotherhood are doing this willingly, as one might say.
If the Black Brotherhood was turned to these foul things, I believe that all of Footfall would be aware. So I think it unlikely that they are all tainted with this psychic corruption you speak of, Noros.
Absolutely, but anyone of influence? Are they poisoned from the head down?
From what I know of these Xenos filth, that is not their approach. It is nibbling at the edges, those weak and susceptible, and from there towards, as you say, the head, as in the infection. He brings up his gloved hand, moving from a single laceration. This is a grave concern, Lady Octavia. Why bring it to me?
I understand that with your considerable influence and your considerable connections, you might be able to give us some insight, or honestly also just to provide you with information. Information is so useful in guiding policy.
And you think my knowledge of this Black Brotherhood would be of value to me?
You may be able to As you see, I'm troubled. I'm troubled as to the indications I see of their involvement when it would seem to be against their own interests. So I am wondering, what is it that I'm missing?
You did not answer my question. Why bring it to me?
Because I feel you may have better insights into the operations and thinking of an organization like the Black Brotherhood. And while I have information on the cult, you may have the missing piece of the other side. And together, we may, as they say, achieve more to our mutual
He
benefit.
takes the wine and then takes a microscopic sip out of it. You spoke of a partnership. If I were to offer this, would this be accepted by House Aquare as a means of expressing my reverence for such a ancient and storied household?
It would certainly be taken by myself as such, as a member of the family.
What you ask, I have not for you. But if I obtain this for you, what will you do with it?
Will depend on the nature of what you are aware, of course, Vladimir.
If
You
it
see
is,
my goal. It is for everyone's benefit. I do not wish to have bad relationships with the Black Brotherhood, and certainly not with the Kazbalika. We would like to have, constructive relationships. But this Xenos filth must be removed for the benefit of all. Nothing more. Nothing more. We do not wish to impose on anyone's operations
you will
otherwise.
cut the corruption from it,
Exactly. Excise the filth.
and you understand the value in maintaining the body.
Yes.
I think we can come to an arrangement, Lady Octavia. I will send word. I will find what you seek. And I will trust you to make effective use of this information. I hope this to be the first in many profitable and productive endeavors between our associations.
I too, Vladimir. I too.
And there is that fourth servitor comes zipping back in, and he turns his head for a moment. Forgive me, my time is often spoken for. I have other matters I must attend to. But I will I will send you what I learn.
Tremendous. Then until the next time.
Until the next time, Lady Octavia. Yes, to you, Noros.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your information. And with that same expression on his face, he gets up, and he, without waiting, you realize that one of the servants or whatnot who let you in here is now back in, steps back into the light, has somehow re-entered this chamber. He's making his way back to where the cogitators and his books and whatnot are, and the servitors are kind of hovering over to where he is. Anything you guys wish to do or say before you depart?
No, not him.
Okay. So, as you guys leave, you find yourself crossing the common spaces in the atrium once again.
It's a good thing you did most of the talking, Lady Aquare. I bit my tongue a couple times, and I'm sure I would have said the wrong thing.
Well, shooting him would have spoilt the whole occasion.
Yes. And by the end of it there, I do think that you've managed to get what we were after.
And yet no lead so far. So we're still at a bit of a...
Yes. Unfortunately, any information he does have is being kept close until he can probably look into it for himself. But
what do you make of the fact?
Advantage.
What do you make of the fact that he did not have any information for you directly?
He might not have been aware of what was going on with the Brotherhood. They may have been acting outside of his command. He didn't mention the little skirmish we had with them at all, which I almost mentioned. That was one of the times I bit my tongue. So...
Well, I wasn't sure whether to bring that up.
Maybe he didn't
because
know
in
of that.
theory it wasn't...
He didn't even allude to it.
No.
And he seems the type who would have no problem doing such or making such a statement so as to let us know that he knew of that encounter.
Well, I assume he does, but I thought the whole point of, didn't want to impinge on the Black Brotherhood anymore. He seems sensitive to that. So we can feign ignorance that we know that these idiots were probably in the employ of the Black Brotherhood.
Anything else you guys wish to discuss or do?
But yeah, he's not being open, but there's no surprise. Again, I can't think he was really fully aware. Well, it's troubling if he was.
I mean, there is that other contact that we could speak with.
Solicat.
Yes.
Now, if only we had a psycho with us.
Somewhere
It would
Sean's
feel
ears are
much
burning.
safer. Yes.
Maybe I can come along as well instead.
Sadly, her attentions are called elsewhere. So this is a non sequitur, but it's interesting. Because I got another source book that I wanted to get information from for this. That was for Warhammer 9th edition, the tabletop game, I got a copy of the rulebook as well, because I was like, I don't know what some of these numbers mean, so if I want to translate it into any of the games that we're using, I need to have a frame of reference for something that, I can understand. And I realize now that the Imperium Maledictum psychic rules are actually closest to the current version of the tabletop game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the way they do the psychic charge thing, where you build up a charge and then you think that's how the tabletop rules work now. So it's been so long since I've taken a look at those rules at all that I couldn't remember how they actually worked. To be honest, gun to my head, I couldn't tell you how they worked in previous editions either. I don't remember that specific mechanic, though, which makes me think that they didn't have that mechanic previously.
Right. I have absolutely no idea about the tabletop at all.
No,
I've never seen it.
I think I've owned the first edition, like Rogue Trader, I think 4th edition, and then like this 9th edition. That's the only versions of the physical copy. Because I move so many times and we play online and whatnot that just it's not my hobby. I love the setting and I love the lore, but yeah. So anyway, it was interesting to learn that that's where that change came from. Is this changing it to be closer to what the tabletop miniatures game is? So interesting.
It is interesting.
It is, yeah.
So then. It is later. What would you see Noros and Octavia spend their evening doing? What do you do with your free time? Or would you be still like on the job, as it were, and trying to track down additional information?
I'm feeling okay with taking the evening off after everything that's happened.
Yeah, same here. An evening of rest to get... to look less red is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Less red is the footfall expression.
So we were talking about Octavia's got the fancy quarters that look like the pre-dressed upscale rental places, and Noros, you're living in what's effectively a barracks, I think, right now.
I was going to say basically a closet.
Yeah. So I think it is when it is later that evening. So Octavia, I'm not sure, you're maybe on one of your comm units or on the cogitator or something like that, reviewing a data slate, when someone knocks on your door, and it is, if you either let them in or you go and answer yourself, it is a, what do you call it, agent of House of Quarry, who says that there is someone who has been waiting for you, or someone who's arrived with a message for you. If you ask why they aren't delivering it, it's because it is in the form of a servitor, and House of Quarry is not about to let a Casbolica agent bring their servitor through the living quarters of the House of Quarry. So they, the servant and the servitor, are waiting for you in that same boardroom or whatever that we have seen a couple of times.
Okay. Well, I'll head on down then.
Okay. You toss your greatcoat back on, and as you walk in, there is what looks like a menial. Honestly, it looks like someone who is just accompanying a servitor along, and the servitor, when it sees you, the head kind of... It's a skull servitor, by the way, not a zombie, what do you call it? Zombie cyborg thing. Yeah. The skull, once again, kind of zooms over towards you, and then there's a flickering, and a hologram comes up. And it is, once again, Vladaim. This is about 3 hours after you've met with him. Let's see his smiling face once again. And he says, Lady Octavia, it was a pleasure to meet your introduction today. I look forward to seeing you again. His expression would not suggest any of what he's saying is how he feels, but it is how he is choosing to communicate it. Enclosed with this servitor is information for one member of the Brotherhood, an associate, a sub-lieutenant, you might call. I have a location included with here, directions for where you might find him in the Shadow Quarters. I have strong beliefs he will know where your cult is. As you can imagine, this would normally be the sort of thing that associations like the Black Brotherhood would deal with themselves. I hope you appreciate and accept our offer for you to deal with this in the way that you see fit. I look forward to hearing for a successful resolution of your Inquisition. Goodbye. And the hologram disappears. And there is information you can pull from the servitor onto your data slate that will give you a location in the Shadow Quarters. What it suggests is that this sub-lieutenant is going to live up to the reputation that, while not as fearsome as Calcus Callinicus, you can expect something very much the same. A giant, violent, drugged-up loon who likely has, if he's a sub-lieutenant, he likely has a small retinue with him of equally drugged-up, muscled-up lunatics, potentially corrupted by Xenos.
Yeah.
That sounds good. How could that go wrong?
Mm-hmm. What do you do with this information?
Well, I guess I will ask the flunky to go find Norris.
Okay. The servant of Vladim who brought the servitor, they both obviously leave Noros. Mm-hmm. What will we find you doing in your quarters when they come knocking on your door?
I mean, at this point, like, based on what's going on and what he knows is coming, he is probably, it's the classic scene of, you know, the trained soldier oiling he's got his rifle apart, his weapons all laid out, he's sharpening his knife, he's oiling his gun, he's just preparing for, you know, to burn out this Xenos scum.
Let me give you a little more information about the setting, that see if you want to do anything with it as well. There are two ways of that soldiers kind of think of their that might interact with the high-tech weaponry that they use in their combat. One of them is if you happen to follow the beliefs of the Mechanicus. The Mechanicus believe that there are spirits within each of these things, and you need to appease the spirits with certain invocations and whatnot. There would be typical, you know, ministrations that you are advised, as you know, by the not necessarily the tech marines, but by whatever the tech equivalent or their engineering equivalent of the quartermasters would be. Things you would learn as you know, in early days with the Imperium, of ways to coax the spirits within your pieces of high-tech gear into success. That's one way I think of them, is the way the Mechanicus would think of them. The other one might be prayers to the Emperor himself.
Right.
That is, if he
and
is.
in the setting, there are only two ways of thinking.
Yeah, really, there's only two ways of religion. Those are the sort of the accepted ways of thinking of religion. The reason is ignorance of technology is extremely prevalent in here. So you would know sort of like, if you would have the average level of understanding of your average car operator. You know that putting a car in and starting the car, that does that, but like if something goes wrong or whatnot, it's not clear what's happened there, and the setting is just steeped in superstition.
Yeah. I imagine it's more of the, you know, the spirits of the mechanics of it.
Yep.
You know, the oil itself is probably blessed by some Mechanicus priest or something, and like, the cloth that he uses to clean is embroidered with some saying that he repeats while he does it.
So, to give you an example, one of I think the best licensed video games that they have released for this, for the setting, is the Power Washer Simulator. That has the mechanicas, because there's a trailer you can find for it where it's them talking about using sacrosanct water to clean the muck off of things and whatnot. And the thing is, not a word of that is like an exaggeration of what they would be doing in the setting. It's fucking hilarious and it's ridiculous, but the setting is ridiculous. And it's 100% what some of them might do, walking around with a power washer cleaning goop off of the outside of a tank, but you'd be, speaking invocations to the Emperor and to the Great Mechanica, the Great Spirit.
Exactly as you say, the gun oil, someone might have called it, is the sacred unguents.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
So that's awesome. So you're going over that stuff, and again, that may just be seen as a practical thing. You may not be that guides your religion the whole way. You just know that this is the way technology works, because that's how members of the Imperial Guard would understand the technology working, because again, ignorance is astoundingly prevalent in the setting. But,
right.
And if the gun jams, it's because the spirit is angry.
Exactly.
It's his feel it's been neglected.
Exactly. So you are doing your things. That is when someone knocks on the door, and it seems that Lady Octavia is requesting your attendance.
Tell her I will be there in 10 minutes, and I'll, put my oils away and I'll get my weapons ready. I'll actually assume that, maybe it's go time.
Yeah. So Noros arrives, fully kitted out into the same meeting room, I guess. Okay. And Lady Octavia, I'm assuming you're back down, legs kicked up on the table once again, or are you studying this stuff more seriously?
No, better be studying this stuff more seriously. This all looks a bit tricky.
Okay. So Noros, you walk in, and I think perhaps this is displayed on like a hover display, or holo display, I should say. A hover display. It's floating over it. Can you stabilize that fucking overhead projector, please? The holo display of it. And assuming that this will not be a friendly chat to get in there and find them, guys, this might be a really opportune time to gain some superiority. Because remember, to gain superiority is knowledge of your foes, knowledge of the battlefield, and knowledge of the players. Why don't we take our mid-session break to refresh our beverages, and then contemplate what stratagem you may have for approaching this. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Perfect.
All right. Oh, my goodness. How's the weather been there this week, Jeff?
Well, right now it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's
raining
super cold and raining. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had last couple of days as well. Good for the forest fires, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 3 degrees here right now.
It's 12 here, so it's warmer. But it's been raining for the last, we had thunderstorms actually today, but it's been raining for the last, 3 days now, so.
Oh, yeah. We had, heavy rain all day. Morden is flooded.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Not, terribly bad, but, our sewer system is, at capacity, basically.
Yeah.
With the water flowing down the streets, so...
Yeah, I don't think we had a thunderstorm earlier, but wasn't, dumping, rain. Though we did earlier this week, because I had, it was warmer out, so I had the windows open, and then I could hear the, I'm like, did I leave water on somewhere? And then I looked outside, and I'm like, oh, shit, I should really close. We've got pretty good overhangs in most of the roof, so, it's not going to come right in, but I closed, My house is 80% books, right? So,
yeah, exactly. I know. I don't really want water in my basement either. That's where the whiskey is. So. Oh
shit! I tell you, the one of the determining factors for me not buying a place out in Bragg Creek was because every place there has some pumps and stuff like that. They're like, oh, every spring. I'm like, this is not something I want to live with. I don't want to live with the regular flooding, Mm-hmm. It's great that you got the workarounds for it and whatnot too, but just I'm not living in a fucking floodplain. That's
no.
Yeah, I'm lucky. For the first time I'm living in the Netherlands above water level. And
isn't 90% of the Netherlands below sea level?
Yeah, big chunks of it. Everywhere I've lived before is have been below water level.
Yeah.
This is a small area that's above.
Wow.
And you're on the fourth floor.
It's only 2 or 3 meters above, but...
yeah.
Hey.
Above is above.
Yeah, above is above.
Absolutely. All right. So... we return back to the planning room for here. So what are you guys doing here?
Sorry, Kev, do we have a name of the individual?
Oh, sorry, you do, yes. He calls himself Barbosa.
Barbosa.
Yeah.
Maybe we should speak with Jerry once again. She definitely seems like our best contact for getting information about, people... underworld stuff.
What additional information? You've got his location, and you've got you got a name for him too. I guess the question is, what do you want to do with that, and what prep do you need before you take steps?
Right. Well, that's why I was thinking we could go talk to her, because we want to know how many. Does she know of him, his crew? How many? See what she knows. That's not in the brief that we were given, basically.
I think you could safely say that's not probably a level of granularity that she would likely know.
Okay, so he's not necessarily someone she would know.
No, she's the one who introduced you to Vladeum, so which means that she's got influence on that level. Some sub-lieutenant among one of the gangs is not likely. That's likely below her notice. That's not to say that you wouldn't be able to necessarily find that information from somebody, but it's unlikely that she would. That would just be too, it's asking a regional manager about a specific, clerk who works in one store, right? That's a terrible analogy, but that's in terms of like what level she's operating on and what level they would be operating on.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I don't know who else we have to get more information with. I mean, we could stake them out, maybe, and just do like old school reconnaissance on them, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure we're that adept at it, though, right? It will be on their territory, so more likely. I certainly am less of a... But you're right. I mean, how else do we get knowledge of them?
Right.
Or the location, because the location is their location. So it's their home turf, so there's nothing there.
Right.
Well, with the location, do we have any information that we could get up of going to the Ministorum to get any floor plans or anything like that?
You have floor plans. Forgive me. The information that he's given you
it's all the floor plan.
Not only like a location in there too. It is a specific it's effectively. It is one of the kind of hab units that's been put in there to built into shadow quarters. So being one of the larger kind of warrens that's been built around of places up top and down below. It is this particular one will be in a cul-de-sac somewhere, and it is effectively like maybe a 3-bedroom apartment or the equivalent space of that. But put to use of, it would have the aesthetic of like a, early 2000s Baltimore, drug squat. I've been rewatching The Wire, so that's why that reference is really fresh in mind. But here's a curious thing. Why don't you give us you're not from here, Noros. Why don't you give us a lore check at challenging, please? Nice.
No.
So Octavia, you mentioned that, it's on their territory. And then you think like, wait a minute. So this squat, it is not in kind of like where the Black Brotherhood has their kind of core, headquarters, as it were, because there is another part of the footfall called the Spire of Intoxicants. That place is very heavily favored by the Black Brotherhood. This guy living out here suggests either he is only peripherally related to this, related to the gang, like he's part of it but does not live with the rest of them, or he may be tasked with something else. And with one success level, do you want to guess what gang happens to have territory near where his squat is?
Oh, the Weeping...
The Night Bleeders.
Night Bleeders, yes, sorry.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Well, we know who we can thank for our fun encounter.
Right, for being attacked. Well, I mean, maybe. So, do we need, like, what's our goal here, boss? Like, do we want to interrogate these guys? Do we want to just eliminate them? Do we need information they have? Like, you know,
Well, yeah,
how
I think
surgical of a strike are we going to put together here?
I will point out too, you still have +1 influence with the Casbolica for the mission. That includes calling in favors such as... Wait, did I load a thing for influence in here? Hold up. I know I loaded a couple of handouts, but I can't remember. Oh, I did.
Oh, like how it works?
Yeah, so here, guys, these are some sort of things in there. So there are some things: expedite standard procedures, sharing of pertinent knowledge. If you wish to temporarily increase influence, there's ways to do that. Remember, you could bribe people, and I think Octavia's got a pretty sweet benefit to bribing people. Yeah, temporary influence is right in the middle there, actually.
so.
It is individual that you're reflecting with that, but there's someone you want to call on through who is a member of the Casbolica.
Because we only know the one person, right? So
You do, but you could probably draw on influence. It would probably depend on what you're looking to do.
Well, okay, because I mean, right away, like Norrell's suggestion would be to like hit them very hard, like go and secure some kind of grenades or a small bomb or something to like actually hit their building very hard, and whoever comes out alive we take down and question them. But like, we don't know, you know, this could be very dangerous for just the two of us, you know.
yeah, and plus we're sort of trying to play it with not coming to blows with the Black Brotherhood themselves, because then that could all go very badly to shit.
But if you
So
know,
I think what we're trying to find a way is to get this guy is involved.
What did Vladim say about the Black Brotherhood, though?
that they're not, he doesn't believe that they're infected completely, or however he put it, and that this would just, he thinks it's just this bad limb, so to speak.
One thing that Octavia heard in the holo display, what did he say about the Black Brotherhood?
Okay, I'm having a brain failure here.
That's okay. This is typically something they would handle, obviously.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Right, yeah.
But they are letting you deal with that. You have been given the green light by the Black Brotherhood, it appears.
Ah, fair enough. To act with our discretion, right?
Exactly. So whatever concern you may have, that doesn't necessarily deal with the Night Bleeders, whatever remains of them, but it has given you the go-ahead with dealing with Barbosa.
Right.
Whether that is just exterminating him, whether that is taking him in for interrogation and then exterminating him, or doing whatever the hell you feel is appropriate.
Right.
Then...
So what are your barriers to... I guess first off, what do you wish to do with this guy?
Well, we need to find out from him where the hell the cult is. And what... Now, and also, in theory, why he's...
I mean...
hoots with them.
Right.
Although the answer may be because he's infected, but...
Right. I mean, that's what Noros is assuming, is that they got to him. I mean, they may have targeted him specifically based on sort of what I know about their plans to disrupt the planet as much as possible. Well, if the Casbolica or the Black Brotherhood and the Casbolica are sort of the top dogs of running the underworld, well, getting one of them would be a high priority of, vector of attack, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they managed to get to this guy.
Thing is, though, normally that can lead to physical changes, so that would.
Well, we don't know when the last time he was seen is. If he's been hiding out,
True.
maybe part of the reason he's hiding out is he has experienced some changes.
Could be. But yeah, so we need him to talk, in essence. So we can't just blow his head off. We need to know where the cult is.
I think so long as, if I remember, so long as you're not using a lethal thing, you can determine how someone is defeated. That would necessitate using a less than lethal weapon to take him down.
Right.
That doesn't include the las pistol, then.
It is a very less than effective stun setting. Let's see here.
If he's been infected, does that like change his physiology and make him more resilient or not? Or we don't know that, or I don't know that.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. Like the one you faced was pretty tough.
Right, and you already said that he was like probably some kind of a juicer or using mechanical, things to make himself into a big brute already.
Yeah.
Being a gang member of this very dangerous gang.
So
we don't know. Like, we know we took out a fair segment of those other guys. 9 of them, I believe Kevin said.
Yeah.
So if those were a big chunk of his allies, we may have hurt them decently.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know that.
This is where influence might come in. With influence, you may be able to do something like draw them away. So you've got some benefit to when you guys move in on the on Barbosa and his retinue.
Right.
Or you could sneak in too. You guys did do a pretty, well, not terrible job of sneaking before.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't hurt to try and case out what's going on there.
You do have that favor to call in from the house as well. So you have support you can bring with you at some point during this mission.
Oh, maybe
The Octavia called in. Whether you want to save that for the Xenos themselves or now.
Yeah, I've been thinking later, but maybe there won't be a later unless we.
When there are ways of the influence kind of rolling forward, like they give you the examples of how your influence can change. And things like if you're integral in protecting influential members or furthering the faction's interest by capturing someone who is masterminding a Xenos threat, for instance, that might actually increase your influence with House of Quarry. Which even if it's on a temporary basis, that might roll forward into another favor of being able to use these guys twice. You would need to, nothing encourages gratitude like success, so you would need to succeed in that, in that effort. But
What do you think, Lady
So what do you think, Noros, that we would...
Yeah, I think that we. I'm still all for acquiring some heavy firepower, be it some explosives or something to really turn the tide here.
So there is a specialized weapon called a web pistol and a larger long gun called a Weber. I think you can guess what those do.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how difficult they would be to acquire.
Oh, that might be a good direction. If I would know about that technology.
Yeah.
Because if we want him alive, if possible. I mean, if he's not corrupt and he's just turned on Vladame and the rest of his people, well, we can turn him over to them and let them.
Looks like there'd be about a 45% chance of it being in stock somewhere on Footfall. And there. In certain circumstances, GM can rule that influence can modify the availability.
Oh.
So, if you want to call in a favor from someone, you could bump that from 45 to 90% chance, for instance. That would be calling on. I don't think you guys have called on the patron, the house, yet.
No.
So if you wish to acquire either of those, 90% chance of it being in, and the cost of a Weber is, the weapons are right near the front here. Ooh, that's armor. A Weber would cost 1,500 crowns, or thrones, I think we're calling it. So it's expensive.
We got 250 left, right? From what we got from the stiff.
Oh yeah.
So that would leave us with 750.
Right, we could get it with, yeah.
And what you can do is, if you want to then let the availability go down by 1, you can divide the cost. So you can also adjust the availability to reflect the cost. You would have the cost in order to drop the cost of that down to 750. Because 1,500 for the weapon at standard. If you call in a favor to increase the availability from 45% to 90%, and then you also want to get it for cheaper, that would drop it back down to 45% to get it at half price. And then I don't know, Octavia, do you have any... you got Dealmaker.
Yeah, so with a success, we can get 10% off. Oh, that's right.
Well, there's a reference. I'm just going to read the actual trade because I think I summarized it. Dealmaker. If you succeed to gain one of the following benefits. Okay, so you can decrease it by 10%. So I would bring it down either to 1,350 to start, or bring it down after it's halved. And reduce it further. That's a lot for one specific thing. I think you guys would have your daily rate of pay. Hold up, you may have more money to call on than you think. Where is it here?
I mean, it might be worth it.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just going to kill him. So.
Right, and that doesn't really get us what we want.
Okay, it is.
I guess on the plus side, if we kill him, that will probably force them a bit more out into the open. But it definitely is second best.
And there is likely, if you have bring them into your Mechanicum, they may be able to study them and find if there is any Xenos changes to the body.
Yeah.
So at the very least, a dead body, while not ideal, still could give you some information. Forgive me, I'm just trying to find the... Here it is. So you can each assume you've got another actually, you would get 100 solar, another 100 thrones. Noros for today, and Octavia, you get another 200.
Okay.
You're not.
I can't remember. Is there a spot for that?
Under combat, I think at the bottom, isn't it?
Oh,
I ended up just sticking it in notes.
Yeah, I think. Let me go to Icarus.
I've sort of got the.
Oh, there. Yeah, currency.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Under combat, right near the bottom.
Yeah. So now I have 400.
Oh yes, there it is.
Okay.
But I'm tracking the sort of the
Party loot as well.
party loot thing as well.
So
yeah.
how much total do you have then?
Of the party loot, we've got 2250 left.
Oh wow! So like you guys have, you wouldn't need to take that price. I heard 250 for some reason. You got 20.
Oh right, no.
Yeah,
but thank you for offering us up all of these bargains.
Well, it's a neat thing. You know, it's a neat. I like it because it's a different way of approaching the kind of like acquisition and profit factor the way that we've seen it in the other game.
Right.
You know, and being able to call in favors to do that stuff, it's neat because there's so much neat shit in this game, and it's cool that there are ways to try and make them more accessible for the characters, either by making the price go down or by making it more available. It's cool stuff.
I really like the idea of buying, like, the ability to buy mission-specific gear. It's not often you play a game that has that sort of mechanics to it.
Oh, did I? I may not have intended, but I've read between the lines that you want to play more Shadowrun because that is a big part of Shadowrun.
Yeah, well, we did have a good time playing that Shadowrun game.
Is a great game. God, I can't wait to run that again.
Yeah.
All right. So that is only that the Weber. If you've got, I guess first off, if you want to call in a favor from your patron for the session to increase the availability, that would be a 90% chance of finding this Weber.
I think that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, do we want to halve it again, or do we want the 90%? Because of course we look a bit silly if we roll 46.
Yeah, I think we keep the availability and we go for your 10% discount.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So go ahead and give us a intuition people test, please.
Okay, fingers crossed.
You got this. You got
challenging?
this.
Yeah.
Hold on. I actually don't think it'd be challenging. I think it'd be probably based on the rarity. So because this is rare, let's make it challenging.
Okay.
We've come back to the exact same point, but I have a method to this.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Here we go. Come on.
Failure. Yeah.
Now.
We're paying full bollocks then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming you don't want to spend luck to re-roll that.
No, not for this one. We're going to go in against some kind of
All right,
monster.
so 1500. The Weber is on page 133 of the core book.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
It has a medium range, a mag of 6, and inflicts restrained. Now, do you need to... How does inflict work? If an attack with a weapon deals wounds, then it inflicts the condition. That's like that knockdown you got with your shotgun. Which is curious because it doesn't actually inflict wounds. I'll bet you it's the success levels then. Because there's no... Yeah. If weapon does not have a damage... Oh god, you only need to hit to inflict the condition.
Wow, let's get one each.
You could, if you want to have one too, Octavia, that fits with your pistol shtick. The pistol one is cheaper.
No, I was joking.
Oh, but we
it
need to
sounds
roll
like
the
a deadly
percentage.
weapon. You just need to...
Who's feeling lucky and wants to roll the 90% availability?
Go on, Norris. I know you enjoy roll 20 dot rolls.
Oh, yes. You know me. No way we roll... Which one is it? Is it above 90? Oh, yeah, this game you want to...
90% or less. Yeah, 90 or less.
Here we go. Scary.
I saw the 9. I was like, oh no.
I know, me too. I'm like, what? No.
All right, so you got it. You've acquired yourself a Weber. And and you got 1 full magazine already with it. You can purchase additional magazines for $150. You need shoes. The Web pistol is $1,300, so it's actually not significantly cheaper.
Rifle seems a good idea.
Okay.
So, Noros, that's your area.
Okay. So Noros is, and I think they're...
Shoot, do I have the book?
I thought that
see.
Well, if not, here, let me put
it in my mail. I might have it in my mail.
Here, let me do this here. I'll put it in chat. Here's the Weber.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Damage is zilch. The range is medium. Mag is 6. Encumbrance is 2. And the traits are inflict, restrained, and two-handed. All right. Anything else you guys wish to acquire before this this raid?
Is it a long arm gun? Like, is it a
yes
like a rifle?
Yeah, it uses long gun, so it would have the same chance to hit that your las
the
pistol.
long arms have.
Or las gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Go.
Okay.
No damage.
And Octavia, anything further you wish to acquire?
No.
No. Then what's the plan here, guys?
Heavy bolter.
I think I do. Oh, I do have great news for Jeff, though. The hand cannon pistol is actually really fucking good in this game.
No way.
Yeah. It does as much damage as does more damage than a las gun. No, equal. Equal damage to a las gun. It's very heavy. And it's penetrating, so it's actually it's not the best weapon necessarily, but it's not the absolute crap that it is in every other game we played. So, Noros has acquired a Weber. Anything else you guys wish to do or call on? Or I guess more to the point, how do you... Go ahead, James. Sorry, I was talking over you.
I don't know if that was using our influence that way or whether we get a squad of armsmen or something.
So you have that banked separately. So you've called on the influence to reduce the cost for your patron for today. So you're not going to be able to call on that again for that. But you banked those other points of it. You converted 2 success levels into 1 influence to bank another favor, which is to have some support for this. So you'd have 10 armsmen. And I can tell you what they are equipped with. Go. That's the Astra Militarum Trooper, but there is... Here we go. The armsmen will be equipped with a combat shotgun, a las pistol, and a heavy leather uniform. A backpack and a las cutter. Yeah. They have a ballistic skill of 40. And... Ooh. And when they work together, when they are in close confines, they get +1 success level to all range attack tests when the target's at close range. That's in the same zone.
Okay.
Oh, and they actually have 50% chance with ranged. So
they're actually pretty decent.
They're actually not bad. Yeah. 12 wounds and 1 armor. So you will have 10 of those to assist with this. What are you guys thinking? Oh, Noros, do you have any kind of tactics skill or anything like that?
Excuse me. Let's go back to our main page.
Trying to think here. Because if you wish to try and study these floor plans, that might give you, sort of who's in there. So you've got 1 point of superiority going in with that. If you want to sort of work out a attack plan of some way, or some way of, how you want to get in to attack these guys in this tiny, crappy apartment or hab unit, that might give you a second point of superiority.
Oh, right. I don't have any specific skills for that I see, other than the base skills. So.
Let me see the specialities, because they've got the specialties on the GM screen, because the GM screen is awesome. So a logic gives evaluation and investigation as two options. I don't see one specifically on that.
Now, if there was something for 100 XP, huh?
You could take +5 to your logic, or just take +5 to your investigation or evaluation. That would be the logic. I'm not sure if you got any points in your logic skill.
Evaluation?
So your logic is at 29 right now. If you want to spend all 100, you could bump your logic up to 34, and then bump the specialty of logic and evaluation up to 39.
Yeah, let's do that. So
okay.
It's called evaluation. Is the
evaluation is a specialty.
Specialization?
Yeah, it'll go in your right column there.
Yeah, and then you put logic as the skill.
Yep. So if you want to raise your logic skill up to +5, and then raise that up to 34, and then for your specialty, it'll be at a 39.
Right. So I put a 34 here. There we go. I think I did it right.
Okay. Awesome. So why don't you give us an evaluation skill? Yeah, you have been listening and learning, so that does make sense.
Well, and it makes sense, and I like it. It's kind of like filling out who the character is at time of play.
Yep.
This could easily be some training that he had as well.
So why don't you make a evaluation check at routine for us, please?
Okay, routine.
This is not the first door you've kicked in to go and murder/capture, or both people.
I'm on. Oh,
that's success.
That is success.
Looks like you are going in with 2 superiority so far.
Cool.
What is the plan then, guys? So that final elusive third, what are we thinking of? Again, the place is at the end of kind of whatever passes for a let's take a look at what this shitty neighborhood is probably like once again. So it'll be even crappier. Do I have even crappier display here? I must. Surely. Let's take a look.
Find the crappiest neighborhood.
Because it is it is. This is far too nice. Here we go. Oh yeah, here we go, guys. Don't
you know what? I actually already have some frag grenades.
Hell yes.
So we could use the frag grenades to draw him out of the building, so that I can hit him with the Weber.
I think one of my unofficial goals for 2024 is to use grenades in every game that has them. Yeah. So
grenades are fun.
Until you find the game which kills all the PCs with it.
What is it we're playing tomorrow? War Stories?
We had grenades used against us in the one where we went to the monastery.
Exactly. Yeah.
We did.
No, and those are good. Those were pretty great. That's a really great game, just full stop. Really enjoyed running that. Although I'm really enjoying running this one as well, too. They're very different experience. It's not surprising given it's Typical 7, but it's really a nice to find each of them has such interesting depth in different ways about the setting.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you guys over here.
Yeah, they do. They kind of feel like connected worlds, but have played quite differently.
Yeah. So, how's that for crappy, guys?
Oh, all I see is black.
Oh, do I have the... Hold on, I might have set the dynamic lighting on here. Hold on. Yep, I did. Madison, come on.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yep. So this will be part of the HAB unit that you guys are going to be... You can picture, like, maybe a place down... Oh, this, incidentally, Jeff, that is a servitor.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that's a server skull. Right?
A skull servitor, forgive me.
Skull servitor, yes.
Yeah, so like it'll be down somewhere like in one of here, or perhaps through like a door like that. That's what this shitty place will be. It's not quite the precipitous drop that we have here, but this will definitely give you the aesthetic of like, slap together whatever's available to try and traverse the place, and also make out the and make the places where you're going to live. And let me get you your armsmen as well. So I think I do. Okay, they look much more impressive. Sadly, yours are not this badass, but we did use them before. So what were we going to say, Jeff? Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, Octavia, you almost need like a police bullhorn or something to, call them out, give warning to any, civilians to flee the area, and then call Barbosa out, And then when he doesn't react, then we hit him with the grenades.
Well, do we just want to, like I say, toss a... It's a good question, though. How do we want to actually get in on this? Because presumably there's not going to be an easy way to, for example, toss a grenade in. They're going to have the doors locked, the windows blocked,
With a successful, what would it be? Intuition includes a specialty called surroundings.
Yeah.
Once you're there, you may be able to kind of check the place out, and maybe these are not secure places. There may be like a place where there's cooking fire, smoke comes out, or something similar.
Right, a vent, something.
Yeah, because I'm thinking we could get a Lord Hailer to shout from outside, but that's just going to give them warning to get ready, right?
Right.
And gather their thoughts. Whereas a frag grenade through the letterboxes might be a little bit more distracting.
Right. I mean, the point is to flush them out, right? So...
Yeah.
All right.
I think that, yeah. So the question is, do we want to get there, case the place out, see if there's a back door? Because these guys presumably also have plans.
So right. You are also going into the territory of a gang that you murdered a good chunk of, or at least a not insignificant number of them too.
Details.
Mm-hmm. My point being,
I'm sure they'll have forgotten it by now.
Do you wish to take any steps to conceal yourself, or your armsmen, or?
Yeah, I think everyone's going to need to get suitably cover up. We don't want to go in as a quarry. Apart from anything else, we don't want to.
We're not doing this as a show of force for our house? Like laying some, claim to this action? Like, we already have a bunch of people on planet who saw us kill the Xenos at the docks. If we're the ones who sort of clean this problem up for the area without needing to call in the what are they?
No,
The Inquisitors?
I wondered about that, but if you think about it, we've been given the green light to nuke this guy by the Black Brotherhood, but to everybody else, he's a member of the Black Brotherhood. So it'll be as if House Aquari is attacking the Black Brotherhood. That's probably not a good thing, right? Even if they've given the green light.
So if, yeah, that's an interesting. So play that forward. What do you think the rep might be if 2 weeks afterwards they find House Aquari attacked a faction of the Black Brotherhood, and the Black Brotherhood did nothing to?
That would make the Black Brotherhood look weak.
Unless you were somehow working with them.
Right. So I mean that's one reason to go in not stealthy, but go in like loud and proud and like, you know, we're tough, we're House Aquari, we've been sent here by, you know, by the authority of our house and the Black Brotherhood, and we're calling Barbosa out, and you know.
Well, I think it's fair to say there's also not a clear one answer. This would be the proverbial, you know, people arguing on the street corner about like, no, they did this because they got the backing of them. Like, no, it's because the Black Brotherhood is weak and they're scared of them. Like, no, don't you wait, you see. They're just waiting until they can get back at them.
Right.
You know, at the very least, it would get people in certain circles in the infractionists talking about House Aquari for sure.
Yeah, and they know all publicity and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think like without being in the know, it would be a lot of guessing games by people who are trying to, you know, decide, you know, without actually knowing what happened. So who knows?
Right.
Sorry, Jeff, you were saying though.
Well, just like I'm not sure which is the better play. Like if that's the political maneuvering is not Noros's.
I think
arena
this way, yeah. For sure, it's going to make our life easier if we at least go in incognito. Because if we go in as House Aquari, then and I have continued, the Night Bleeders are probably going to react.
Right.
Now, if once we're in there, we're revealed and get out quickly, maybe it doesn't matter. But going in, it'll be an inconvenience. So maybe we need to at least disguise on the way in some suitable overlayer to hide our faces and all the rest of it.
Yeah, like basically put some giant cloaks on that cover our insignias and whatnot.
Yep.
If you wish to, you could, you know, you guys live at the atrium. You have seized that warehouse in the Void Dock Alpha Row. You could use that as your staging grounds.
Right. Yep. Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Okay. So the plan is for you to meet up at the warehouse to disguise yourselves and then go from there?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And at least at the beginning to not indicate we're House Aquari.
Sure. So I think then I just want to read about advantage, whether it's situational. I can't remember.
Or we go in as House Fell.
That definitely could have an effect on them. House Fell has been pretty vocal about, with Lord Captain Haderach Fell returning shortly, that they have all intentions to do some shitty things to you guys on account of what Captain or Lord Captain Quinelli did.
So maybe the House Fell should attack the Black Brotherhood.
Okay, nice. So advantage and disadvantage usually comes into play from external sources, such as environmental traits. So rather than adjusting the difficulty table relates to the actual task itself, whereas advantage and disadvantage applies from circumstances. So I think what I'd ask is one of you guys to take the lead with a stealth check at... I would normally set it at routine because you're using like a lot of gear and stuff like that, but I think you're also going into an area that's probably under a bit of high watch, but you're going to roll it with advantage because there's a lot of people who are dressed similar to you guys. So it'll be stealth conceal, I think.
Do you have anything there, Jeff?
I have 40. My stealth is 40.
Yeah,
I don't have
1%.
conceal as the specialty.
Yeah, you're 1% better than me, so you may as well go for
Okay. Hey, that's actually 2% because we have advantage. Okay, so advantage, yes.
Yeah.
Submit. Sorry, what did you say the difficulty was?
Challenging, please. Yeah.
Superiority. Oh, does our current superiority count on this or no?
Superiority typically is only in combat, but I'd let you apply. Yeah, no, apply 2 points of superiority. You guys have done a lot to try and prep for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, superiority of 2.
There we go.
Woohoo!
Look at that. There you go. All right. So, and you would have succeeded even without the superiority. To the 30.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
So what do we see is you and the 10 Aquari armsmen are making their way in. Oh, one last question. Are there any contingent commands you want to have for the armsmen for when things go off? Like, for instance, if you're concerned about the...
Don't kill the leader. Yeah.
Well, if you're concerned about the night bleeders coming up and trying to, attack you guys, do you wish to leave some of them to some of the 10?
Yeah, like protect our flanks.
Yeah, and also like your extraction. Make sure there's a clear extraction route.
That's a good idea.
I like that.
So how many would you leave to watch from behind? Figure there's at least 2 ways to approach this kind of cul-de-sac. Do you want to leave 2 on each approach? Do you want to leave 1 on each approach? 3 on each approach? What are you guys thinking?
Let's leave 3 on the approach that we prefer, or the exit we prefer.
Okay.
So I don't know, probably the one that's the most directly to get out of here.
And then the other one? The other approach?
Just one person watching to see if they come up that way.
Okay.
With like instruction to like let us know if they're coming, essentially.
Okay.
So just a watch on one, and the other 3 are to like, keep it clear. If they come that way, fight back and try and control that path.
Fortunately, you should have no difficulty identifying members of the Night Bleeders.
Yes.
So then that leaves you down to 6 that are coming in with you.
Yeah.
Tell us how you guys are approaching this cul-de-sac, the lair of Barbosa.
So we had the floor plans, though, you were saying.
Yep.
So do we know that there's a rear exit?
I don't think there is. I think there's probably one way out here.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, excuse me.
Then can Noros get close enough to hoy a grenade in through some opening?
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining is sort of like... I feel like I'm pretty heavily armed, and so, to hide some of the bulk of the weapons, I'd be traveling... The 2 of us would be traveling sort of in the middle of our retinue of guards.
Do you leave one of your guns behind then? If you got the Weber, do you want to leave a shotgun behind or the...
Yeah, probably the shotgun.
Okay, keep the las gun. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can picture you guys reached a point where you're... So remember, the ranges in this are abstracted as zones, and like something that is medium away from you is, I believe it's 10 to 15 meters. So, and it is one move to get to there. So I'm assuming you guys are stopping about one zone away from where they are to let your 3 kind of set up their, casually kind of stroll over and set up their watch, one to go to the other approach, and then you guys can see from here. Why don't you give us, Noros, this is actually going to be fairly easy. Why don't you give us an easy, there we go. Give us an easy intuition surroundings check, please. Let's see if you can spot a place to drop that grenade in. Because I think that sounds like a perfect way to get that last... Look at that!
Oh,
holy smokes.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, modifier. I think you might have... Did you have 2... I think you might have had your superiority on that roll as well.
Yeah.
Well, the modifier is 40.
Just, I think easy is just too easy. I think that was easy is plus 60. It might be too easy.
Oh, yeah, you might have selected very easy. Because easy is plus 40, very easy is plus 60.
Oh, that might be why.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. So it gives you 6 success levels, which is effectively a crit. So you find a perfect place for where you're going to be able to get this thing in there without ever exposing yourself. So You're not even going to need to make a stealth roll to kind of sneak up and try and get this thing in there. You're going to be able to stand out of view from where the window is, get that in there, and then do what you will.
Nice. All right.
So that would start Noros in the same zone as where the entrance is. Octavia, where do you wish to be? You want to keep your distance, or you want to be up with Noros when you're ready to go in?
I'd rather be back, but I guess I think we need the firepower.
You do have the you be wherever you want. Like, you're still going. You can have you have 6 armsmen who are with Noros.
No, I guess I'll do that. I'll hang back a bit. Shall I keep 2 of them and you take 4?
Sure.
Can they?
2 of them to keep you protected. Yeah.
Can.
Well, also, if we need if anything unexpected happens, we can deploy them.
Mm-hmm. Can.
Otherwise, we're also going to get too crowded, I'm guessing. It's all going to be a bit of a logjam.
Yeah, and those combat shotguns that the armsmen have are, I believe that's the one that has spread, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so it'll hit other adjacent targets. So they're going to make a ground beef out of whoever's in the thing there. What are your instructions as far as when they should engage, Noros, then?
Yeah, how do we don't really know how to identify Barbosa. He's gonna be like large. So I think if they see any night bleeders or any other, people opening fire, to return fire and, attempt to basically take anyone out except for when I indicate who Barbosa is, they're to leave him for me to get with the Weber.
Okay.
We want to try and get him alive. If anything, though, they might need to lay down some, covering fire or whatever to, slow him down or...
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Go.
Keep him from just going ballistic.
In this case, you mean literally, right? Because they're going to have stubbers with them. So there will be a lot of ballistics that are being deployed.
There's I don't know if you've ever played the Cyberpunk video game that came out Not that long ago.
Yeah, I played up to the point where I got into the like stealth tutorial, and I'm like, I do not have the. I'm gonna forget how it's the game looked fucking amazing, but
there's these guys on there. They're called cyber psychos that you go after. They're like got this like they got like this disease of like computer glitches in their implants or whatever, and they're always these super big tough, the equivalent of like roided out, but like roided out with technology, and you have to like go and take them down. And that's exactly what this feels like. Is like,
totally.
It's one of those missions.
Okay.
This guy's a cyber psycho, and I mean he's got Xenos brainwashing potentially, but it's very similar.
Totally. That is one of those games where like it looked absolutely amazing. It's just I knew that I'd be able to play it, and then I wouldn't get back to it for a month, and I'd get back and I have no idea how to play, and have to play the fucking tutorial over again.
Yeah.
Did you finish that game?
I really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, a couple times.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
It has multiple endings, so.
Yeah. Well, I just started on the same path. I played Ghost of Tsushima last night for about an hour. I was like, oh, this is great. So now will be something that will come up, and I'll not play it for a month, and I'll get to play that intro again. But I'm looking forward to it. It was a lot of fun. So,
yeah.
All right. Okay. So then, Noros, you drop that thing in. You guys have 3 superiority now. So remember, you can spend that on 1 roll this round. And let's get the turn order going here. Let me make sure this is cleared. Remove all turns. I think if you might have to click on your token to click on initiative. I don't know for sure. But we don't roll initiative. It just goes in the order of your initiative score.
Right.
So
Noros goes first.
Yeah, because Noros had I think, higher dex or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And then... Ooh. All right. So it drops down. Tung, 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 tung. You hear the explosion go off. And let me show you. I'm unfortunately reusing the same thing for Barbosa. But it'll give you an idea of what to expect. So,
it is a great image.
It is an amazing... It's from Degenesis, actually. Too, which is... They have the... Whatever the, like, off-brand Kickstarter going on for their board game right now, too. Speaking of which. Okay, let's see if I can... And then there's only one of him. All right, Barbosa is acting on an 8. They are acting on a 7. All right. Your armsman will act on your turn. So Barbosa is doing something inside his room. Then it is the gangers. I'm going to have them stunned this round because they are... they're likely grabbing their guns and stuff like that and trying to recover from this. Noros, you were up next. I think you've got 4 guys with you. Octavia has 2, and then you got 4 watching different alleyways. Is that right?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I'm double checking. I don't think there's like group attacks for minor NPCs. Like there are differences between the different like qualities of adversaries in it, but I don't remember there being no, maybe there was actually, because I think we were doing that last time with groups attacking. I've talked myself out of it. For those listening at home, apologies for having to look this up yet again. But it is one of those things where the more times we look it up, the more times we don't have to look it up again. Here we go. Because aid, I think, grants... advantage to the roll. I think that's what we were doing last time. I was still missing you guys, but... Oh, that's in melee. Okay, I don't see anything here. And it's obvious, so we will just roll with advantage for every second one. Which means... who would go first, Noros? Do you want to go in first, or do you want the armsman to go in first?
They can move in, because I have something else I'm gonna do on my turn, so.
Okay. So if you move them in, what those 4 would find is 3 gangers. I've got them nicely separated up into the different rooms they are in. The front room has the 3 on the right, and then the other 2 and Barbosa are in rooms in the back. So the first one comes in there. I'm picking up their... they're auto guns. So they're picking up effectively submachine guns.
Oh, nice.
What would your armsman like to do?
Well, if they're clearly... grunts, then they would be following instructions to open fire with their shotguns.
Okay, so why don't you roll twice with advantage? They have a 50% chance, and let me just see if there's a point blank range.
So D100, 2 D100.
Sure, yeah, that'll work. And you're rolling with advantage. We'll just flip the
Yeah, we can flip it if it's less than...
if it's necessary.
Okay. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's a 25. They have 50, so that's 2 hits. One of them at 4 and one of them at 3. So that is then... where's your guys? Guys, clearly I need to have a 3rd copy. I've got 2 copies of the core rulebook open right now, and I still need to look up one more set of stats. I think there is an obvious...
Is it the same as the shotgun that I have, or no?
It's yeah, it is actually the exact same shotgun.
So then it's damage 6.
Nice. Okay, so that is then 7. No, because plus 3, so that is 9 and 10 damage, right?
Yeah.
9 and 10 damage. All right. They're wearing 2 points of armor, so 9 points of damage. Oh, yeah, and the other one's hit for half. Oh, this is ugly. Okay, so they're just unloading with their shotguns in there. They're also knocked down because they've been hit at point-blank range with a shotgun. So that is 9 points of damage and 10 points of damage. And that schmuck will be hit with 4 and 5. Look at this, guys. Holy smokes. All right, so there you go. So you can hear the sound of their combat shotguns going off. They are all knocked prone. Noros, what do you want to do?
Well now, okay, since I hear all the shotgun blasts, it actually like changes what he was gonna do, right? Does it? No, maybe not. He's actually got the las gun out right now, and he's got it trained on the door.
Okay.
And so he's waiting to see, he's just giving it around to see what happens.
So do you mean on the door or at the door? Like, are you waiting for someone to go fuck up your armsman, or are you stepping in to watch?
No. Oh, sorry. Like, at the door, not...
Got it. Okay.
Like not way outside. Yeah.
Now, is there you're going to attack, right?
Yeah, if I can see them. If I see them from where I am.
So you do not see anyone. I'm seeing what readying an action does here.
Yeah, if they approach here.
I think it might be called Overwatch, actually, because that's what it is called Overwatch. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
You use Overwatch to prep yourself to act when a specific event happens.
Yeah,
okay.
If anyone pokes their head out, they get las gunned.
You got it. All right. Octavia, what are you and your 2 troops doing?
Could I make it to the door to actually see this gunfight?
Yes, definitely. A move gets you from one zone to another one, so you could race up there.
So I'll say to my helmsman, keep my back, and I'll run up to the door. And I'm going to try and take the guy who's still up. Well, less obliterated.
Yeah, so you can fire over. Maybe Noros just stepped a little bit forward. So there's the one guy who looks like he was not as much, his clothes and armor and whatnot all torn up. So he is prone, which is on my GM screen, I'm sure. Attacks from immediate range have advantage. Attacks from outside immediate range have disadvantage. So you would have disadvantage on this attack, unfortunately. Because you wouldn't be able to move directly in there. But he's not going to be able to dodge. So go ahead and give us an attack at disadvantage, please. And nice, great shot. All right, so that is 7 points of damage. And this is your. Oh, did you burst with it? Did you use any of your?
No,
just single shot.
Single shot.
Yes, I think burst is the one that is +1 success level. I think.
Yeah, and uses up one of your ammo.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so then that is a minus 5 for that. Okay. Yeah! So you zorched him. Is that it for you, Octavia?
That's me.
Okay. Barbosa. You hear a bellowing call coming from inside, and he is... Oh, and I forgot. You know what? Your armsmen, because they're all in the same area, they actually do +1 damage.
Oh,
remember, because they do +1 success level when they're working together in close quarters.
Right, which is +1 damage.
Yep, so that actually means those ones are gone, and this guy's a little more hurt. Okay. Then, Barbosa. He is sticking his head out. He's got cover, so go ahead and make your attack roll.
Yep.
He's going to use a reaction to try and dodge. And remember, the way dodge works is I take away success levels if he gets a success. Okay, it's not a contested roll, so...
I'm going to use my superiority on this roll.
Okay. I failed, so it'll be +2.
And is there a modifier for cover, or how does that work?
No, cover just counts as armor.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So here we go.
Nice, and you actually got +2 more success levels because of his shit dodge.
Oh,
so
wow.
That is... now, did you do anything fancy with it, or just a single shot?
Just a single shot. I'm not trying to... I mean, I know it might be Barbosa, so I don't want to... It's not a kill shot, right? I'm just trying to...
Yeah. Okay, so he...
I am trying to injure him, but not...
Yeah. All right, so he takes... that's 2 extra you did, 7 points of damage. Ugh! He's zorched with it, but then, Noros, he is going to fire his hand cannon at you. Oh, and neither of you guys used your... Maybe you were saving your superiority for your dodges, but remember, you can spend your superiority once per round to get +3 success levels.
Oh, I did. I spent mine.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Did it add it?
No, it did. It did for you. I didn't even
30.
look, to be honest.
Yeah, you got the 30 there.
Okay. All right, so then Barbosa is going to try and fire. Jeff, you'll appreciate this. Guess what weapon he's using?
A hand cannon.
A hand cannon. So here we go.
This just after Kev explains how it's actually a pretty good gun.
I did hit with a 3. So you did. Noros, if you want to dodge, go ahead and give us a dodge check.
Oh, yeah, right. Dodge. Oh, I have a special dodge thing.
Oh, and get that free thing to always take cover. I forgot about that.
Oh, I guess I don't have a special dodge thing. I just have dodge as an actual
specialty.
skill.
Yeah, so reflexes roll with the dodge specialty.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You need to get 3. 4 is enough. Look at that.
Oh.
So you duck out of the room, and the shot goes off, misses you. Then it is the other guys. The guy in the ground is going to bring his auto gun up. Yeah, I'm going to have to mark this here. So then lose some spot. And his auto gun. Ooh, rapid fire 3. I don't remember what rapid fire. I think we went through this 2 weeks ago, but I don't remember offhand.
Yeah, where
is it on the sheet here? Let's see. No, that's not weapon qualities.
Rapid.
Let's see here. It's just at the start of the weapon sections where they give all the traits. So let me see here. Rapid fire. I can either burst or have it spread. Ooh. Oof, oof, oof. Both of those sound good. Let's burst. Now it's rapid fire. He wants to try and get both of you guys. So I'm going to rapid fire you, Noros. And whoop, I forgot to grab my, oh my goodness. I forgot to grab my dice tray. So of course, my dice just went under Anna's ottoman. God dang it. All right, so 49, is that a hit? 49 is a miss. So he opens fire on you, Noros. Does not hit you, which means, Octavia, you're not going to take any... Oh, you're in a different zone, actually, so you're not going to take damage. The armsmen do not take damage. Then the guys in the back room, they run out into the main hallway there. And Noros, let's try and shoot you first. Let me put this here. That is a miss on you, Noros. And then... the second one will fire. That is a hit. So Noros, you are taking. I said spread. So, would you give us for your armsmen? Let's see here. I think they are. Here we go. Armsmen have a reflex of 30. Would you give us a 4 rolls of 30, please? And then you'll take...
2 of them succeed and 2 of them fail.
Okay, so then it is 6 plus 2 is 8. So Noros, you take 8 points of damage. What's your armor score? It's 2 or 3, isn't it? Armor's 4. Ow. All right, so you only take 4 wounds. And then each of your armsmen takes half of the damage, which is 3, reduced to 2 because of the damage. So they're hurt. 2 of them are hit, but not substantially. Then it is Noros' turn. What are you, Noros? You got Barbosa, who's got cover, and the 2 of these gangers are just, well, there's one on the ground in your zone. There's 2 one zone away in the hallway.
I think I'll use my last gun to try and finish this one off that's in this zone.
Okay.
So I'll fire on him.
If you use your move to step up, you'll have advantage on the attack.
Oh,
because you're just like,
yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
Yep.
And I won't use my superiority.
He is not dodging.
Yeah. So 6 damage.
That's a failure, actually. You could spend 1 fate to either increase the success level by 1 or to re-roll. He's got a pretty good chance of getting a decent hit with that.
Success. Yeah, let's re-roll.
Okay.
So drop this to 1.
And roll with advantage again. Yeah.
There we go.
Wow. What's it look like as you take this member of the Black Brotherhood out?
It's sort of a very mercy kill. He just sort of walks up and just, direct kill shot, right in the brainstem or something, just take him out really quickly. And then he turns to the guys. He just points at the other room and he says, "Flush them out."
Okay. So give us 2 attacks at disadvantage.
Yeah, so...
at advantage. What am I talking about? Advantage, not disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it should be 4 of them acting in concert. Both of those are hits, and they will not dodge, because they do not have anywhere really to go. No, I can't. With a 16 and a 15, I'm not going to bother. So then, that means it is... The combat shotgun does 6 damage, right?
Yeah, so it's 12... for the 5.
Yep.
And the 16 is for 10, 11. Because they're working together. Yeah.
All right, so crap. 11 and 12, that means at worst, what they are taking is an extra 5 points of damage. They do get to double their armor to 4, but that's still enough damage. Firing a shotgun in closed quarters is definitely enough to empty those 2 out from the spread damage. All right. Anything you wish them to do next? Or are they staying?
Well, they had to move to do that or no?
Nope.
Oh, so then I'll get them to back off now, because if Barbossa's by himself, we're trying to draw him out so we can hit him with the Weber. So. Okay.
So maybe they back out of the apartment then. They fire that shit.
They fire and back right out.
Octavia, what are you doing?
I will... bear with me 1 second.
Sure. Barbossa's probably 1 zone away from you right now. She'll be at medium range. Which I think all of your pistols... Oh, no, pistols are close. So you would want to move into the apartment if you want to make effective use of your pistols on Barbossa.
I'll go in under. I'll move to cover in there, and I'm going to talky talk.
What are you saying?
So I'm discussing.
Oh, Gothic gibberish.
Oh, is that what distracting? Or I was deal maker. I was going to wonder whether to get him to.
Oh yeah, you can learn what bribe they might take. Sure. I mean, that's during a negotiation, though.
Yeah, I think.
Try and provoke him.
No, I'm going to try and distract him. Oh, but I can do that at any time, right? That's a reaction.
So distracting is a reaction. Gothic gibberish is what makes him stunned as long as you talk.
Yeah, so if my action is then to gibberish, and I'll use distraction if necessary is my reaction.
Yep.
Yep, let's try that. Rapport charm.
Okay. So this is by his discipline composure.
Right, let's do that.
I failed by 4.
You idiot. Oh!
But it is a contested roll. So you beat me by 3. So what do you say?
Look behind you. Look up there. Look.
Okay.
Panic! Panic! Get out of there!
So Barbossa is not quite clear what's going on. I do get to make another composure check at the end of his round to try and do it, but I succeeded. Ah! He screams out, but he didn't attack this round. There are no gangers left, so I can delete that. Noros, what are you doing?
Okay, so now I'm switching from the las gun to the Weber.
You dropping the one?
No, I'll take the time to secure my las gun in case I need it. Yeah.
Okay. So you swapped
So
over.
whatever time that takes, yeah.
Octavia. What are you doing?
Can I try again?
I think so.
It's challenging. It's challenging, yeah.
Yeah.
For
I
heaven's
failed by
sake.
3 this time. Oh,
I
which means
failed by 3
0
as well.
success levels. You want to spend that last fate?
I'll
either
use
reroll-
my last fate point.
You just want to buy the success level, or you want to?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just buy the. Yeah, I may as well just buy the success level, right?
Yeah,
There's-
yeah. There's no. The degree of success doesn't have any effect on it. What do you say this time?
Oh my God! What is happening? Oh,
Okay.
children!
Let's see what he does. I succeeded on my discipline, so he's recovered at the end of his round again. You stalled once again. Noros, what are you doing?
Okay. I'm going to. So now I'm gonna move in. This is maybe not great, but I need to get a good shot at
The
him.
Weber has a range of medium, so you could fire from where you are. You're 1 zone away from him.
Oh, but doesn't he have cover?
Cover only helps with damage. Doesn't affect with
Oh,
and remember
okay.
the Weber, you just need to hit him.
Yeah.
And the conditions,
Okay,
I
let's
think,
do
are
it.
at the end of the section here.
Yeah, he becomes restrained.
Yeah, I'm just checking for what restrained. It is. It's right here. Awesome. Oh, this is interesting. So there's 2 stages of it. There's minor and there's major. I wonder if it's staged, like you get the minor stage first, and then if you hit again, you inflict the next stage up. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, but you can go ahead and make your attack roll.
Oh yeah. I'm going to use my superiority on this.
You
'cause
got
I
it.
really want to get him in the web
And
here.
just so you're clear, the reason that you got the advantage on the other attack rolls because he was prone, not because of you were so close.
Right.
So getting in closer.
No,
to
I know. I just thought he had cover, which is why I was
okay.
going to move in.
Yeah,
Not,
got it. That's
not
a
for the
hit.
advantage. Yeah.
All right, I am going to try and dodge now that I've recovered, but let me see what. All right. Oh, that's flaws. There's traits. Here we go.
No, we could have got web grenade.
So. Unless otherwise stated, minor the first time you get it, then major the second time. That's very cool.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Okay. So then, oh, that's awesome. So I'm going to make a dodge check. I would need to get an enormous amount to take 4 success levels away. I'm going to roll and then I'll look it up. I failed already. Actually, critically failed. So I'll allow you to inflict a major condition with a single shot.
Yeah, he's his confusion and wasn't expecting the switch of tactics, and he just sort of
Well, and he's
gets
like, ah! He
captured.
gets himself nice and wide as he's about to run down there, perfectly set up so you could hit your Weber gun. It catches all of his limbs. With a major level of restraint, he is incapacitated. He cannot move or take actions, cannot defend himself against, and melee attacks automatically score a critical hit.
wow.
And he hits the ground. Yeah, let's see here. There's not a clear thing of how he breaks out. Oh, ending this condition usually requires a test appropriate to the situation, like dexterity, lockpicking test. Probably this would be athletics, like lifting or strength or whatever the specialty is. What is it? Might. Yeah, be an athletics might check. Thank God he's such a small guy. So, you've hit him. He is fully restrained. Octavia, what are you planning on doing? I will tell you, Octavia, this is the first time you're starting to hear gunfire outside.
All right. I will walk up to this guy, press my las pistol against his head and stay still. And with my fox speed to my 2, get in here.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, and they race in. Give us an, I think it is, what's persuade? Because rapport is the more charming one. Presence, yeah. Give us a presence intimidation.
I've got intimidate. Presence intimidation.
Yep. Give us intimidation.
Advantage by any chance?
Yeah, I'll give you...
due to the gun against his head?
Yeah, I'll give you advantage. I'm going to give him... Because he's a absolute maniac, so we'll give him advantage as well to resist. I failed. I rolled a 59, so either way I roll. So as long as you succeed on this with advantage...
Oh, wait, in this round, then I'll use my superiority of 3 as well. Fuck it.
Yeah. Incredible. So he looks up at you, and there's just whatever growling and whatnot he goes. There's this icy gleam in your dark eyes, and he shuts the fuck up. All right. Would you give us each an intuition check, too, please? You can do this at routine. If you've got humans as your intuition specialty, you can use that instead.
Oh, heaven's sake.
Routine. There it is.
Okay. I guess, Noros, you could re-roll if you want to spend that luck, but we do have 20 minutes left.
Yeah, no.
You sure?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Then what you guys will find as you are departing, your 2 people, I'm guessing you wanted your armsmen to pick this guy up?
Yep.
Okay, so they're grabbing with the things and are carrying him along. Yeah. He's going to actually, because you got an astounding degree of success there, he's actually going to shut the fuck up for the entire duration. So it's really just a matter of getting yourselves out of here without, taking any major fire. So let's think here. How are you guys planning on... You would have had time to plan this sort of extraction. Are you just going to, make a run for it in the direction?
Yeah, hopefully the guys... The one of 2 paths we wanted protected,
yeah,
they've at least kept it clear enough that we can just sort of race out of here,
yeah,
guns blazing, essentially.
Yep.
So
let's do this as a presence leadership.
Nice.
Well, the other question is if we can also do the back off, or the big guy gets it.
That would mean they would have to listen to him or fear him, I guess. Which they might.
They appear to work for him, so
yeah.
But let's keep going out, but I can shout that out with it. I'm with the my armsman and the guy, so I'll just shout out of back off, or
sure,
Barbarossa gets it.
Let's do this. If you succeed, then we'll give advantage to Noros on the leadership roll for coordinating the troops. Leadership is under
intimidation.
Yeah, it'll be intimidation, and give us a roll at challenging, but it is a contested one, so don't worry if you fail.
It's going to be a toughie.
I failed by 2.
Come on.
That means you succeeded by 2.
Yeah.
So, Noros, there's enough of them that are stalling. Noros, you want to give us a... So this will be a... what was it here? Presence. A presence leadership role with advantage. And remember, you got your superiority if you want to add that to it.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask if still had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Here we go. Yes.
Nice. What do we see as you guys extract Barbosa from this the territory of the Nightbleeders?
I think it's like you said, it's very coordinated. Maybe there's a couple of them that back off because of Octavia's words, and the few that are, left starting firing at us are sort of held down by our cover fire, and we book it out of there.
Then I think as you guys are getting out of there, Octavia, I think there is one thing you need to yell.
Aquare!
Yes, all of your arms went Aquare! So would you kindly, because I think James, you're the one who is tracking the influence.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and put -2 with the Nightbleeders.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely made a name for yourself. So, with Barbosa in your possession with the armsman, and it's only 0 casualties. 1 or 2 people took a hit or 2, but no one is down.
Nice.
Where do you guys head now? Back to the warehouse, I guess?
Yeah, I believe back to the warehouse was our plan.
Okay. So you retreat back to the warehouse with this guy in tow, and...
It also is where the Xenos body is, and so we're probably going to be using that as part of our interrogation, so...
Sure. Your laborer crew, what did you do anything with them for when you guys were coming back, or are you just expecting them to fall in line and do whatever's necessary here?
Yeah, like, would we have sent them home? Yeah, I mean, it's probably... We've sent them away. Okay. I don't think we would necessarily have them there for this kind of business. They're more like ship crewmen and mechanics and that kind of thing, right?
I mean, they're general... Not to undercut it, but they're like space stevedores. It is an important, skill for sure. But, yeah. So, you guys all come in, and I'm assuming you're going to disperse the armsmen in part to keep watch. That right?
Yep.
What happens after you get here? You've got him in tow. What are you planning on doing next?
Does the house have some interrogators?
They probably do, but you have called in your favor.
Well, definitely for today, we need to, or for right away, we need to secure him in such a way. He is a big dude, and so heavy restraints, not just whatever gunk came out of the Weber, but like real chains or something, like very very tough to hold the guy.
Okay, so you you do what you can, and actually there probably are chains here, and he's just, so you get him secured to, I don't know, like a pole or something in here to make sure. Something that's not going to easily break. And he's just, once he's finally been chained up, he has begun to start threatening now. You're dead. You're all dead. Every one of you. You know who I am. You know what a Black Brotherhood's going to do to you. Once they find out what you've done.
They already know.
Who do you think told us where you were?
We know you've got your fingers in pies you shouldn't have. Even the Black Brotherhood does not approve.
You're a liar! A liar!
I could presumably pull out a pict of the corpse that we got as well.
I think you guys have the corpse here, is what Jeff said. So
I think we do.
Do you want to throw a tarp back?
Pull out the tarp to reveal the sort of dead Xenos.
Sure. Go ahead and give us an intuition check, each of you, at for human at routine. Actually, make it easy. Not very easy though, Jeff. Don't get greedy.
Yeah. I
Whoa, 7.
I rolled an actual 1.
Not 1. Holy shit!
Wow.
So both of you.
I was feeling my 9 was good, but there you go. You don't roll a 1.
So both of you. There
15
is,
degrees of success.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing hidden in him. He clearly, there's a look of both recognition, and then you can see almost like as his, like the drug-addled wheels in his mind slowly turning, he realizes what you were talking about, that the Black Brotherhood let you do this, and they don't like what he's up to. And color all drains out of his great big face. And he's just glaring at you. There's an equal mix of terror and fury.
Your only possible redemption is to tell us all of where this alien filth is and where it's spread to. We know you know.
So he is glaring at you. Would each of you give us a percentile roll, please?
Wow. What the heck?
So, Noros, I think here's something to add to your mix is as you're getting this guy set in, one of the armsmen comes over and kind of, salutes you. Sir.
Yes?
I think that one might have a touch of the mutant in him, sir. There's something unnatural.
Yeah.
If you look over, you can see it's not as pronounced as what the I can't remember what they're called. They're not called half-breeds. I don't remember what what they're called. Do you remember, James? I don't know if I don't have Wrath and Glory with me right now either. Yeah, they're not as far along as this, but you can see there is definitely a receding hairline, and there is a pinkiness to his skin that is most unnatural, Noros.
Yes.
So if you had any question as to whether Barbosa was
infected.
So what he says, and it is, we're not going to role play it out because it is going to be a lot through his way of dealing with this is to rage and keep trying to break the chains and keep screaming at you, but eventually at the end of this you will get all the information you require. You rolled a 6 successes or 6 degrees of success on your original intimidate, so at the end of the day, Octavia, he is absolutely terrified of you. I'm trying to find the name of the place. How religious are Noros and Octavia as far as the Emperor of Mankind is concerned?
I mean, I don't think I am very religious about the Emperor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be moderate.
Okay.
No fanatic.
Okay.
Yeah, not a fanatic, but...
So then, perhaps even with that relatively minor, relatively modest degree of devotion to the cult of the God Emperor, you might still find, where they're hiding? In the catacombs and tunnels that run through the macro statue of the God Emperor himself.
Oh, even so.
Nobody goes to that thing. You guys would know, it's one of those things that they set it up as a shrine and whatnot, but no one ever really goes there. They're hiding in there. They have warrens.
Death Watch.
So, how do we end the scene with the interrogation then? I guess first off, what do you guys make of this information? I will tell you that because of the successful triumph of Aquare, not only did you survive an ambush by those gangers, you gave them a solid bloody nose afterwards and let them know who did it. You will have this retinue for another scene.
Yee-hee.
Sweet. I mean, I'm thinking we got to take them all out before they really take hold here. They've already taken too much hold.
Yep. Gonna have to flush them out.
But I think the scene itself ends with, one of us, I don't know, would you do it, Octavia, or would you leave it to Noros to finish this guy off? We can't leave him alive if he's infected, so...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so that probably ends with Noros, after we've got all the information and maybe he thinks he's going to be, freed or relieved of whatever because of this, you see the sort of like shot from the darkness as he finishes him off.
All right, and he is down, and that brings us to the end of our session, guys. With luck, you will have backup for your session, because I think Sean's back in 2 weeks' time, and hopefully Dave will be feeling better. And that's before he moves as well. So you may have a explorator and a psychic in order to go in here.
Wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Just thinking, suffer not the alien to live. All right, then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. And you guys each get 100 XP for today's session as well.
Excellent.
As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to Warhammer games in general for all the ones we run on the channel, as well as... a bunch of other channels, including things dedicated to the other campaigns we run on the channel, finding a group, general GM discussion. There's just a great community that has built up over the years over there, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an outstanding selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including many of the awesome 40K out-of-print games that we run on the channel. If they do not have something in stock that you are looking for, you can put it on a want list. Then they will send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MuserNight, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. That discount code will be good until end of June 2024, and we'll have a new discount code after that. So if you're listening to this at a later date, come back to one of our more recent videos, and you'll have the current discount code there. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we've been running on the channel for a number of years now. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, providing benefits to over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. You can learn all about their activities and initiatives by following that link down below, and if you make a donation through that link, all that money goes directly to them. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. And if you've donated $25 or more since the start of the year, since January 2024, come back to our Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server around the end of July, and we'll start having information for the final half of the year's charity sessions. We'll be wrapping up our charity sessions from last year. Over the next 6 weeks, we have 4 more. Good God. 4 more outstanding sessions coming up, including a session playing the Year Zero powered war stories tomorrow, Barbarians of Lemuria 2 weeks after that. We have Lex Arcana coming up 2 weeks after that, and then we have Star Trek Adventures coming up 2 weeks after that. So lots of great games coming up from last year's donors, and then we'll be starting something really fun, I hope, starting in August, and we'll be asking donors who have donated $25 or more to vote on the components of those sessions. But I got something I think really fun in mind. I'll also mention as well, if you are listening to this live, I will be on vacation from July 11th till July 22nd, and we will not be hosting any games on the channel during that time. So we're not going anywhere for long, but we are going for somewhere for a bit of a vacation. So it means we're missing one session of effectively every game that we run on the channel. But that'll be we'll be coming back afterwards to ready to dive back in for the second half of the year with some really fun stuff. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our grim and perilous heroes. So James and Jeffrey, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. This game plays absolutely fine with 2 players. Like, we were talking about what 40K games we might be able to continue playing with 2 players. Wrath and Glory was fine with 2. So is this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
So, or at least it doesn't break down. You guys are an incredible players, so we'd be able to play probably anything with 2 players, but mechanically, this doesn't let us down with just 2 players. So, yep. Awesome. Yeah. Then we'll be back in 2 weeks' time on Footfall to see what our heroes decide to do. A bunch of abandoned tunnels buried into a giant statue of the God Emperor. There's surely nothing running around in there, right? Right?
Nothing to worry about.
But until then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.